is the descent to hell. All night long, all day, the doors of dark Hades stand open. But to retrace the path, to come out again to the sweet air of heaven, there is the task, there is the burden. If I cannot move heaven, I will raise hell. We'll talk about that later, but now it's time for Rick Tittle and Titillating Sports on Sports Byline USA. Hey, thanks for that and welcome to another live edition of Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. How's it going, eh? What you got? I asked you what you got. Come on in and let's talk about it at the toll-free line, 1-800-878-PLAY, 1-800-878-7529. That's what's going to get you and get you heard coast to coast, border to border, and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. Big shout out to our troops listening out there. So, what a debacle it was as the USA went out very tepidly, very weakly, and the whole world celebrated too. That's always great. I don't know. Maybe I'm naive. I'm not used to being the bad guy and rooting for the team everybody hates. I mean, I'm a Raider fan. Everybody hates them, but it was kind of different this time. But anyway, they're done. We got games going on right now. We can talk about that. 1-800-878-PLAY. A lot of guests here on a Tuesday. Roy Cohen, not Roy Cohn. He's not with us anymore. Cristo Fernandez. You might have seen him in the Ted Lasso show on Apple TV. He's with us because he's written a bilingual children's book. Salesporttalk.com at 9:40. We always check in with them at that time on a Tuesday. Bruce Marshall from the Gold Sheet will join us as well in the second hour, and we'll talk what's going on with the World Cup with Bruce. Scott Reich has a new baseball book, which seems pretty dang cool, and we will do that as well. We'll talk to him. Matt Vasgersian, one of my favorites, an East Bay kid like myself. He's here to talk about covering the Home Run Derby on Netflix, and the lovely and talented Lena Hall from The Mission. She is back with us as well. 1-800-878-PLAY is the number to call. Get on back.
Lower your car payment today. Lower your car payment today. Yes, you heard us right. You can lower your car payment right now by making this free call and save up to $1,400 a year on your current car payments. Think about your current car payment right now. What's that costing you per year? Now think about what it would be like to put an extra $1,400 back in your pocket. That's the average savings our customers experience. We can help you drive the same car and pay less every month by lowering your car payment's interest rate to as low as 4.67%. At Rate Genius, we can work with you to refinance any car payment. If you qualify, it costs you nothing to find out how you can lower your car payment. To learn more, call this number right now.
800-832-2816. 800-832-2816. 800-832-2816. That's 800-832-2816.
My fellow Americans, let the message ring out that from this day forward, when you buy American, you buy the best. Handcrafted, something premium, something pure. For this is the very essence of what our servicemen and women gave their lives to protect, and by God, we shall not allow their sacrifice to be forgotten. It's time to show the world just how great American can be. And we will not wait for tomorrow to come. We will stand here, this moment, together, and we will start today. Don't ever forget how great it is to be American. America we need right now. America, premium vodka. Celebrate responsibly.
Do you have diabetes? I'm sure you've seen the television commercials on the new CGM devices from all the top brands and how well they can help you manage your diabetes. Do you have the latest and newest in diabetes technology? The Diabetes Solutions Center carries most of the top brands, and the great news is your insurance may cover most of the cost. Call our special CGM hotline today, and our friendly representatives will help see if you qualify. You could get a new CGM from the top brands at little or no cost to you. Make living with diabetes easier. You are just one free phone call away to learn if your insurance covers the cost. So make this free call today to the Diabetes Solutions Center and learn for free how to get your new continuous glucose monitor.
800-520-8629. 800-520-8629. 800-520-8629. That's 800-520-8629.
Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle is a genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful, genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful. Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle he's so handsome, he's a genius.
You're now listening to The Rick Tittle Show. Good for you.
Hey, thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. It's our pleasure to welcome to the show filmmaker Roy Cohen. He has a brand new film entitled Far From Maine, and it will be making its premiere at the San Francisco Jewish Film Festival Sunday the 26th at 2:30 p.m. at Canbar Hall, and then on Friday the 31st over in my neck of the woods at the Piedmont Theater, a matinee at 1 p.m. Roy, welcome to the show. And first of all, just in a stereotypical way, I don't really think of our state of Maine as being like a Jewish, like a hubbub center of culture. Is that where kind of the name of the title came from?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Rick. So Maine is actually where Seeds of Peace summer camp was until pretty recently, and it was a very renowned camp for conflict resolution. So they had teenagers from the Middle East. I'm from Israel, and from other areas of conflict like India, Pakistan, and others. Yeah.
So take me through as you revisit the memory of your childhood friend Asil. What is that?
Yeah. So the film really is stylized as a letter to Asil. Asil was, I'm from Israel. Asil also was a citizen of Israel, but he was Palestinian. And even though we are from the same country, I could only meet Palestinians in kind of bespoke space for that, such as this summer camp in Maine. So I had to fly to Maine to meet Arab or Palestinian teenagers my age. And it was really meaningful to me. I also come from Arab heritage. My family is Moroccan and Algerian Jewish, but I'd never been in an environment where people spoke Arabic, haven't been born here. And my friendship with Asil was meaningful for me for different reasons. It also connected me to my own heritage of generations past, but he was also an incredible person, an incredible writer, whose texts are also featured in the film. But unfortunately, in 2000, Asil was killed by Israeli police. It was the beginning of the Second Intifada. He was one of the 13 Palestinian citizens of Israel who were killed by Israeli police. And his life really changed me, and his death really changed me as well, and made me more critical of this place that I live in. Not only his death, but also the fact that the people who shot him were never truly tried, and that the society kind of wanted to move on, my immediate society and society at large. And this film is a letter to this person who died when we were so young, that I admired so much, describing to him what has happened to Israel Palestine since we lost him.
Yeah, and therein lies problems in every continent for millennia, is that here you are with your friend, you're at a camp, you think about all the things that you have in common, way more than what is different. And yet in the culture, you have a different invisible God than I do. And everyone always says their religion is about love and peace. And yet if you're in a different religion, then your life isn't worth very much. And it's especially, like, we all have problems, but it's especially, as you know, an area of the world where it seems like there's never going to be a solution, and it's as bad as it's ever been right now. So do you think this movie might like light a candle to some of that?
I hope so. I mean, I think at its heart, this film is really about the power of friendship, and I've carried a seal in my heart for 3 decades now. And as this film makes really palpable, his voice is very present in my life and also in the film. And I think that there is truth out there, right? There beyond conflict and beyond what narratives are spun. There is truth, and there is truth in friendship, and there is truth in love, and there's also truth in what is happening right now in Israel Palestine, and that truth can also uh, should be motivating people for political action. And the film also addresses that very much so. But I do think that there's hope in hanging on to what is true about what's happening right now, and connecting across what your identity or your society thinks you should be doing. And for me, as an Israeli who protests for Palestinian rights here in Israel and still does so, and it was meaningful for me to make this film because in my heart, at least, my action, everything I do is motivated by my real connections, my real friendships, not only with the SEAL, but also with other Palestinians. And that has changed my life, and I'm grateful to Seeds of Peace for that. And as the film shows us, there are a lot of complications, obviously, in living here and in having had these experiences. Um, but yeah.
Just since you brought that up, because I mean, we know that there were a lot of Russians that protested the Ukrainian war and said this
Mm,
was a war of aggression. There's no, these are
mm,
our cousins. Our what are we doing? And of course,
yeah.
very draconian society there with Putin, and that didn't last very long. So, what is it like in Israel? Of course, it's much more of a free country, but still, what is it like when you're protesting what the everyone around you is might be supporting like that?
Yeah, I think there's no one answer for that. I mean, Israel, like any society, I think also like the US, a lot of it has to do with class. A lot of it has to do with context. So,
Hmm.
I'm pretty well off and I live in Tel Aviv and I've done okay for myself. And so if I protest and protest a certain area in central Tel Aviv, police is going to treat me a certain way. But I sometimes attend protests. We protested against military in the south where they hold doctors from Gaza and protest against that. And the vibe was different. Let me tell you, it felt different. So there's Israel. Even though the police minister here, we showed this in the film, also is quite the character and as someone who's using police also to change the politics and change where Israel is headed in a much more racist and dangerous way, in my opinion. I still think that there are parts where the police, at least when it comes to Jewish protesters, they're not going to crack down as hard. And so I have the freedom and the privilege, and I try to use that privilege to protest. But of course, my friends, my brothers and sisters who live in Palestinian cities in Israel, they don't feel as free to protest. And it's really important to understand also that in this country, in this area, ethnicity and religion also translates into class and the liberties that you have. It's not in the legislation, it's not in the law, but it's definitely in the way it's interpreted by the institutions of the state.
It's very interesting. Last question for you. We just have a couple of minutes. What when you were at Seeds of Peace, and we're
Mm.
very impressionable at that time,
Mm.
and a lot of times teenagers think they already have everything figured out. So, what were some of
Oh,
the
yeah.
things that you carry to this day from that camp?
Oh my gosh. I think it just made me, it's a place where for the first time adults believed in me. And I think that that's also what it was for Asil. You know, um, the parents that brought us up, they loved us, but maybe they didn't have the language. I'm very different with my kids than my parents were with me. They kind of didn't know how to deal with someone who was like maybe creative, and I think that to an extent, Seal felt the same way. We know this from this text, but in Seeds of Peace it was really an empowering environment, and it was kind of trippy to see other kids go through the same type of empowerment. So we saw in each other these people who were amazing, and the leaders of the future. That was what the founder of Seeds of Peace, John Wall, kept telling us that we were going to be. And to an extent, I have that empowerment in me still. And it's so sad to me to see what Israel Palestine or the Middle East is becoming, and having had these different experiences back then. Now, of course, I'm also older now. I'm critical also of that environment, and how it tried to present Israelis and Palestinians maybe as equal in that space, whereas we were never equal. I as an Israeli, I had privileges of movement. It's the most basic thing that Palestinians did not have. But I still carry in me the beauty of it, and I think that because I had that experience, I've managed to make this film that's also critical of the environment, but also shows the beauty of it and the beauty of man and how it translated into a friendship that has left me still feeling the feelings that I feel, and maybe cultivating hope for what is still possible in the Middle East, 30 years later.
Very well said. Once again, everyone should check out this film when you can. It's called Far From Maine, part of the San Francisco Jewish Film Festival. Sunday at 2:30 p.m. the 26th at Cambar Hall, and then Friday, July 31st, Piedmont Theater at 1 p.m. We've been speaking to the filmmaker, Roy Cohen. Roy, congrats on the film, and let's catch up on your next one.
Thank you, Rick. Will do.
All right, good stuff. On the other side, Cristo Fernandez will join us right here on Sports Byline.
With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new Care Watch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The Care Watch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. The Care Watch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. Call us to get your Care Watch right now.
800-853-8931. 800-853-8931. 800-853-8931. That's 800-853-8931.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8223. 800-690-8223. 800-690-8223. That's 800-690-8223.
I get a lot of calls from people across the country who are suffering from the affliction of IRS tax debt. Hi, I'm the tax doctor. Call me right now. My team specializes in helping people over the age of 50 solve their tax problems. And the bigger your tax problem is, the more money you can save. If you owe the IRS money, or you're about to owe the IRS money, or even if you need to file years of unfiled returns, call us right now. Our friendly, highly trained representatives are waiting right now to take your call. Over the years, we've helped thousands of people just like you stop the tax liens, wage garnishments, and harassing phone calls. You don't need to send the IRS a big fat check. We can negotiate a lower amount. That's what we guarantee for you. So call us right now.
800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. That's 800-603-9359.
Checked on by Woodgate, who's playing further and further forward. Huddleston, Modric, cleverly hit, deflection, hit the post, Lennon, 4-4! Unbelievable!
That's what I had been saying. What had happened was Rick Tittle was just trying to keep it real and stay sucker-free.
All right, thank you for that. Coming up in the next segment, salesporttalk.com. We'll check in with our friends over there. And we are waiting on our guest right now. And I'll get into the whole USA thing, but it's very fragile and tenuous sometimes. Momentum in sports and esprit de corps, and what that team had, the USA team for a while there, was more French words, joie de vivre. They just such confidence, which was pretty amazing. And yet, I mean, you think about it, we've played Belgium 2 times this year, and we've say USA, we've given them 9 goals. You know, playing against a European team that is good but not great, elderly but real players. I mean, Trossard just played in the Champions League final and won the league with Arsenal, and Big Rom, been around forever. De Bruyne didn't even play. But the USA came out scared, and it was not enjoyable. And I'll get into that, but we have found our guest, Rick Tittle, with you coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. It's our pleasure to welcome to the show actor Cristo Fernandez and now author. He has a brand new book from Scholastic entitled Football is Life. Also, Football es Vida, because this is a bilingual book, and some great illustrations by James Ray Sanchez. And, you know, Cristo, if you watch Ted Lasso, because he played Danny Rojas on that show, and that was his catchphrase, football is life. Cristo, welcome to the show. And before we get started, I just have to mention, I know it didn't go the way you wanted, but how about that match at the Azteca in the rain with England? That was an absolute classic, wasn't it?
That was a once in a lifetime game, but I'm still processing the loss. But I'm very proud of my Mexican team because they played with heart. They gave everything. They left everything on the field, and this team brought us all together in Mexico. And I think this team, this our Mexican team, gave us something that I love in life, which is this possibility to believe and to dream big, regardless of the result. I love that, and I think that's an important thing in life. And like the game, like in sports, sometimes you lose, sometimes you draw. It might not go the way you want, but there's always a possibility to win. There's always a possibility to prepare again and to try again and to dream big. And that's what I'm also trying to do with my children's book, which it's for children, but also for grown-ups. And we all should have this possibility to dream big and start and study and learn and push ourselves to do something else, you know, and fail and try again.
Well, that's the thing too, is that I mean, here's the England team with all these big names, and Mexico didn't have a lot of big names, but boy, did they fight and they fight and they fought, and yet I'm so disappointed yesterday with the U.S. team because they just stood around and very tepid, and the esprit de corps, everything good about it. I don't know if it was because of the Trump thing, but whatever, it was just sucked out of them, and they look very weak. And so I think Mexico has a lot to be proud about. And for us in America, the U.S. team is just such a stain now. It's a really sour feeling. But let's move on to the book, as you were saying. I love the fact that this book, and it's for kids, as you said, it's big, and I mentioned the great illustrations. But, you know, I'll just pick a page. It says scoring goals is his superpower. No one can kick like Cristo. Anotar goles es a superpoder. Nadie patea como Cristo. I think this is a good way, too, for kids who aren't bilingual. This is like maybe their first lesson, right?
Yeah, I really think I'm my sister Paloma and I are always grateful with our parents that they always encourage us to learn other languages, even though they barely speak English. And that's why we learn English and then German. And I love languages, and I believe languages open doors, and they open you to another world. And it's also for me a statement that I believe in multiculturality. There's not just one culture, there's different cultures out there, and I love learning from every single one of them. And I pushed myself and got out of my comfort zone and went to the UK where I studied my master, and I had to learn English properly. And then in the US, I'm still learning English here. And yeah, I hope they not only people that buy the book and read it, I hope they not only learn lessons from life that I believe in, but also learn another language, both kids and grown-ups, because we all can learn something new, no matter how old we are.
Warum speaks du Deutsch so schön?
Hey, ja, kannst du Deutsch sprechen?
I think that's great, man. I really do. So the Ted Lasso thing, I guess they're having a new season, and you think about, I know you wanted to be a player, and injuries and other things curtailed that, but what's it like you walk down the street now and everybody's like, Danny, what's up, man?
Yeah, I'm grateful. People always put a smile when they see me and they think of Danny Rojas. I'm glad it's a responsibility to know and realize how much what I do in my work and what we put ourselves out there in the world can mean to other people, and that's why I'm grateful. Danny Rojas has meant so much to so many people, and I hope there's more Danny Rojas down the line too. Why not?
And this book, Cristobalito, how much of this book is you?
Lots. It's based on real life experiences. It's based on both the good and the bad moments that this beautiful sport has given me, because that's life. And yeah, the main lesson is to get out of your comfort zone. And even though football is life, there's other stuff in life that we can learn from, and so that they can help us be better football soccer players, be better people, be better sons, daughters, be better human beings. Life is not only black and white. There's so many colors and shades in it. So it's always good to learn from other things, you know.
All right, we've been speaking with Cristo Fernandez, the children's book. I'm holding it up here for the cameras here on YouTube and Twitch.tv as well. It is entitled Football is Life, Football es Vida, and it is available from Scholastic Books. Cristo, congrats on the book, and hopefully we'll catch up with you down the road, man.
I hope so too. And maybe see you in El Paso, Texas, El Paso Locomotive, where we're playing now. Sending lots of hugs and love to my local family.
Yes, a USL team, man. El Paso Locomotive. I'm a friend of the Oakland Roots.
Okay.
I'll see you at the Coliseum.
We might be playing there. Hopefully soon when my visa arrives. I'm waiting for it. I hope it arrives soon.
All right, good stuff, man. It's Cristo Fernandez. By the way, he does play for El Paso Locomotive at the age of 35. And he wears number 91. It's hard to miss him. And if you're wondering why he wears 91, you are correct. It's because that's the year that he was born. He's not calling us back, is he? No? One more thing, Rick. Oh, okay. One more thing, Rick. When I go to the Coliseum now. So yeah, and by the way, I heard that I've never seen Ted Lasso, but the Ted Lasso new season, they're going to be taking on a women's team. So a new twist in the tale for Jason Sudeikis. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back with, what is this?
Ted Lasso theme song.
Oh, I had no idea. I'm Rick Tittle. Come on back on Byline.
If you slow down for a second, take your time. You know I'm yours if you remember that you're mine. And when everybody's telling me I have no time, I prove them wrong.
It's more than a rebellion. When your teen is slipping into drugs or alcohol, when social media and pornography consume their time and their mind, when depression and even suicidal thoughts cast a shadow over your home, as a parent, you feel powerless. There is hope. At Turnabout Ranch, troubled teens step away from the chaos and into a clarity of nature on a working cattle ranch. Care for horses, learn responsibility, build trust, and rediscover purpose. It isn't theory, it's real work, real therapy, real healing. Families from across the country have found transformation right here, just when they thought hope was gone. If your teen is struggling with addiction, harmful online behaviors, even weight management, call right now and get the help you all need.
800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. That's 800-219-2494.
Are you an adult with uncontrolled moderate to severe Crohn's disease symptoms and still packing a backup bag of clothes? Just in case, Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza can help you take control of your Crohn's. Feel significant symptom relief, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements at 4 weeks. Plus, Skyrizi is proven to help people achieve remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Individual results may vary. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's. Ready to take control of your Crohn's? Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease.
Control is everything to me.
Learn more at skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI.
We call ourselves ASAP Travel for one reason. We can help you book a ticket ASAP. For those of you that don't know, that means as soon as possible. That means no wait time. You get through right away. No searching online. Our specialty is the lowest available fares on the big name airlines. You know them. We can't tell you their names. You can fly domestically or internationally and save more money than you could if you call the airlines directly. Our proprietary software goes underneath the hood of the major airline booking systems and finds you the best rates available. So if you're ready to make your travel plans right now, business or vacation travel, we have all the major airlines always at great rates. Call ASAP Trips and we'll have your ticket in your inbox in 15 minutes. Call this number now.
800-364-2984. 800-364-2984. 800-364-2984. That's 800-364-2984.
Sailing takes me away from where I've always heard me.
All right, thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. And on Tuesdays at 9:40 a.m. Pack time, we like to check in with our friends at SalesportTalk.com. And we have double trouble today because we have both of our good friends from SalesportTalk.com, Karen Lyle and Patty Mangan, and we actually are pulling in our boats. We are docking. We are dropping anchor. We're going to be some landlubbers because we're going to be talking about, Karen, I'll bring you in first. You want to talk about the Fillmore Jazz Festival? What's going on?
Oh, yes. So the Fillmore Jazz Festival has been going on for about 39 years, but it actually is rooted in the history of jazz in America because, as you know, jazz started in Harlem in New York, but what people may not realize is that by the 1950s, jazz was firmly rooted in the Harlem of the West, which was actually on Fillmore Street in San Francisco. And Fillmore Street runs, quite a ways through different districts, in the 2nd District and the 5th District in San Francisco. So about 39 years ago, the jazz community basically created a festival that was a street festival. So the whole the whole street transforms. I mean, at 9 o'clock the night before, the tow trucks come through. Sorry about that, folks. But it takes all the cars off the street that didn't pay attention to their signs, and the sweepers come through, and barricades get set up, and toilets get dropped off, and dumpsters get dropped off, and the whole infrastructure gets set up. And it becomes its own little city for 2 days, and people from all over the world come. There really are people who just plan on coming, and they fill up the hotels. Probably 100,000 people come, and they're not there all at once. They pass through and enjoy the 35 bands that happen on the 6 different stages, and there's 200 art and other vendors there that they go and visit. And it's a really peaceful, fun-loving group of people.
Patty Mangan is with us as well. And Patty, do you know how many people sail to the Fillmore Jazz Festival?
Well, it is possible to come in there in the San Francisco Marina and tie up and catch the 22 up to the top of the hill. But there are sailors on the footprint because we identify ourselves and we look out for each other.
So, Patty, are you a big jazz fan, or do you just like the live music and festivities in general?
As a child, no, I didn't like listening to what my parents listened to, but I have learned to love it, and I'm learning more every year because I'm surrounded by, the talented and the professional.
And
well, and actually, Rick, one of the things that happened too was during the pandemic, when everything was shut down, because San Francisco was locked down for 15 months or so. You remember that?
I
right?
did my show out of my house for 14 months. Yeah.
Exactly. So that meant the festival didn't happen for 2 years, and so it was basically just gone. And Patty decided to be the executive director of the Fillmore Merchants Association, one of her clients for 20-something years as a design company. Imagine that. And she asked me to come and help her because I have, I probably produced, maybe 1,000 events. So Patty and I are co-executive producers of the festival now. And in the third year of our team, which is Tim Omi, who's the president of the Fillmore Merchants Association. Patty, what's that other association that Tim's president of?
Each credit? You mean the Fillmore Jazz Festival Preservation Fund?
Yes, that one, and then also the one that all the merchants associations belong to. I was trying to remember that one.
Fillmore Merchants Association.
Right. Anyway, so we, the three of us, co-produce it, and it's really deeply community-driven, which is very different. It wasn't quite run the same way as we do it because we've really reached deep into the heart of the history of the community, and those people are actually helping to run the festival.
So I thought you were just talking about being enthusiasts, Karen. You guys actually you run the thing.
Yeah. Well, I would say that the 1,000 people that are independents that come together, they run it. I am the system of systems architect and executive producer, and Patty actually designs how all the vendors fit on the street. And so a lot of our work happens before the festival. Then we get to walk it and dance to it and enjoy it during the festival because everybody else is running it, which is great.
All right. And Patty, any sailing updates? What's new in the sailing world?
Well, so for the past 3 years, I have leaned on I'm a member over at South Beach Yacht Club, and I'm a trained bartender there. And I have leaned on
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Can you make me a Moscow Mule?
Yes, I can.
Wait, is that the one we went to, or is that the St. Francis?
That was St. Francis.
Oh, that's right. You're the one behind the Giants, then, South Beach.
Yes, South Beach.
Okay,
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So anyways, for the past 3 years, I have recruited all the other members of the yacht club. We're a volunteer yacht club, to come and volunteer and to man the 3 bars that we have on the street. So as you come up to get a beer, get a drink, you're interacting with our members at South Beach, and They're wearing their insignias because a lot of in the sailing world we recognize it's called the burgee when it's on our apparel. And
What's a burgee?
it's the flag.
A
It's a
flag.
flag that
Okay.
identifies a club,
Gotcha.
and it flies on your boat. It's like it's a way of communicating where you're from.
Is it like a little
And
triangular pennant, or is it like a rectangle?
exactly.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. So there's club burgees, and then there's regatta burgees,
Hmm.
which you participated in a regatta, you might fly that on your boat too. So
So
you'll
you're
see a
saying
boat
that
that has.
that you can get a beer even if you're not a member of the club?
Oh yeah,
Really?
Everybody gets a beer.
I
Is
like
it?
Well,
beer.
or wine.
I think Rick's talking about the club. I'm talking about the festival. At the club, you have to be a guest of a member.
Oh, that's what I'm asking. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's a private club, so you have to be a guest. But back to the volunteers. For 3 years, I've had some very, very dedicated friends come and help serve the drinks at the bars up and down 12 blocks on Fillmore. And I have to shout out to Wendy Hanrahan. She's just been an amazing um, cheerleader for that. She lives in the neighborhood. She knows the neighborhood very well, and she helps me spearhead that. But beyond Wendy, there's 15 other names: Bill and Sonny and Erica and Susan and Nancy and so on. So as you come up, you're interacting with the South Beach Yacht Club. It's like a temporary bar for South Beach Yacht Club.
Now,
But we don't
Karen.
get the proceeds.
Mm-hmm. Karen, I
Yes.
saw. I guess it was last week that the La Roche Posay racing team unveiled for the America's Cup an AC 75, which is the third so far. And for those of us not in the know, what kind of craft is the AC 75?
So it is a foiling sloop. So what that means is it has one mast and it comes up on foils and one hull. Where in the SailGP, it's a different kind of boat, but also foiling. And so what happens with the America's Cup this year, which is very, very new, is that they're doing two different kinds of boats. So what they did was the race that I went to in Sardinia, which was the preliminary race, was in AC40s, which are actually all the same. But then when you get to the AC75, that's where the boats are individually crafted and designed, and where there's a lot of secrecy. Like, don't tell anybody, don't let anybody know what we're doing, because we're designing something within the rules that's going to be faster than your boat. And I actually had a great walk with the official spy for the America's Cup when I was on my way over. Yes, there is an official spy.
Well, he's not doing a
this
very
year.
good job if he's official. Everybody knows who he is.
Well, no, what happens is that the teams would have spies out to find out about the other people's boats, and there was all this stuff going on. So what they did was they designated one official spy who basically, when he finds out something that somebody let leak that they maybe weren't supposed to, or maybe, whatever, then it goes to all the teams, and he's actually going to be our secret source between now and America's Cup, because we made friendship on our way walking down to the Rib when I was going to visit Sir Ben Ainsley and Joe
Well,
Ridley.
just one
So,
more one more question about Italy and the America's Cup is that you went to that preliminary race in Sardinia, and apparently in September they're going to have the second preliminary race in off the coast of Naples, and I guess for the
yes, and
equivalent
I'm
it would
planning
be
on going.
yes, and I guess for the equivalent it would be like a preseason. And so, what you're planning on going to Naples in September? That's awesome. What's to be learned? Are they just thinking? Are they looking at like the tides and the winds? Or are they just mostly trying out their crews and equipment?
Well, really, what they're sailing against each other and looking and studying at the techniques and the ways in which they race, as well as being familiar and having an opportunity to be in the final race is going to be in Naples. So they're getting an opportunity to have a preliminary race, which is great, because you need to know the local conditions, and you need to know it in your boats. And foiling is a lot different than sailing on a monohull that sits in the water. It's a really different type of experience. And these sailors are sailing all year round in multiple races, as you know. So many of them are actually in the SailGP, and then they hop over to America's Cup, and they do the around the world match racing. They'll do the moth races. They're always sailing.
All right, sailsporttalk.com is the website for the information. We've been speaking with Patty Mangan and Karen Lyle. Thanks for coming on, you guys, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds great. Well, I'm on a plane to London, and I'll talk to you from London next.
All right, that's odd. I'm Rick Tittle. Let's take a quick break, and we will come on back on Sports Byline.
Sometimes life changes, and the house you once loved becomes a burden. Too many repairs, too many memories, too much to handle on your own. If you'd like to sell your home fast, we can help at the Home Buyers Hotline. We can help you sell your home as is, no cleaning, no showings, and there are absolutely no hidden fees or real estate commissions. We'll pay you a fair price for your home in cash, whether you're downsizing, handling an estate, or just ready for peace of mind. Call us. We'll help you walk away from your problem property in no time at all and get you the cash in your bank account with little hassles. If you'd like to sell your home fast, as is, we can help at the Home Buyers Hotline.
Call Want to Sell Your Home now for a free quote to sell your home in any condition. Call 800-950-3143. 800-950-3143. That's 800-950-3143.
This important consumer alert is from the Credit Repair Hotline, a national service designed to help people improve their credit scores. Are you paying high interest rates because of your credit rating? Wouldn't you like to be able to qualify for a better car loan or mortgage rate? Would lower monthly payments give you more financial flexibility? If you're finally ready to fix your credit problem, you need to call today and get a free consultation from the Credit Repair Hotline. In one fast and easy call, we can pull your credit rating and show you real solutions how to improve your credit. And again, this is part of a 100% free consultation. Learn how you can save money on everyday purchases by having a better credit rating. And it all starts with this free phone call right now.
800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. That's 800-413-6214.
Every champion has a team behind them. And for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion, their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled Katy.org. Team up with them today.
People ask me, were you must have been the class clown. And I say, no, I wasn't. But I sat beside the class clown and I studied him.
Tittle once threw a tennis ball at a donkey.
Thanks for that. And we're going to round up the round of 16 and get to the quarterfinals today. Switzerland and Colombia coming up this afternoon. Right now it's halftime. Argentina and Egypt. Egypt leads 1-0. Lionel Messi has missed a second penalty shot in this World Cup. It was saved. It was at a good height for the goalkeeper, as they say. Like shoulder high, just a little bit to the right. It wasn't a great penalty, but you never want to miss the frame. You want the goalkeeper to at least have to save it. So I'm not saying alarm bells are ringing just yet, but they gave up a goal and they've had the guy, their guy, miss a penalty. So, and I will get into the USA in the second hour. We'll talk about it with Bruce Marshall as well. But now we have to watch all the commercials with all our American guys the rest of the way. And I do believe, and there's no way to prove it, I do believe that the Trump thing stained it. This was everyone around the world wanted, I don't believe in karma because I was raised Christian. And I'm sorry, that's just the way I was raised, and Christians don't believe in karma. It's a different religion. But I think what we do believe in sometimes is a comeuppance. You had that coming, you deserved it. And the whole world was rooting against America because the whole world despises Trump because he's gone out of the way to say, you guys suck, we rule. We hate you, don't come here. It's just a fact. And so then to change the rules and then brag about it and say, I never even knew what a red card was. It's just everyone hated us. And so that whole feel good vibe was just gone. And everybody walked out there with their heads down. And it was just, and then the Matt Freeze thing. All I could do is just on social media, put a ostrich with his head in the sand. The Matt Freeze thing. Remember, that was the one thing I was worrying about was Matt Freeze, and he was doing fine until that howler of howlers. So it's just such a sour, flat feeling now to go out in such circumstances. All right. Other than that, everything's great. Take a quick news break here. Boop. By the way, you can turn that thing off, that AI thing. Boop. Soccer is a big sport. Boop. Baseball uses baseball. There's nothing about an update in that thing. There's nothing being updated. Other than that, that's great too.
This is an all sports news sports update.
Formula One continues strengthening its global popularity as younger audiences embrace the sport through streaming content, social media, and international events. Industry experts say Formula One's combination of technology, entertainment, and luxury branding has helped transform the series into a worldwide cultural phenomenon. Meanwhile, women's sports are experiencing unprecedented international growth. Broadcasters and sponsors are investing heavily in women's soccer, basketball, volleyball, and tennis as audience numbers continue increasing around the world. Volleyball continues seeing major participation growth worldwide, particularly among younger athletes. Professional leagues and international tournaments are attracting increased sponsorship and media attention as the sport's popularity continues expanding. International basketball development continues creating opportunities for athletes around the globe. Professional leagues and development academies are expanding throughout Africa, Europe, Asia, and Latin America as basketball participation continues rising internationally. Global soccer continues expanding its influence throughout North America as international clubs and leagues increase investment in the United States and Mexico. Teams are strengthening academy systems, scheduling international matches, and growing digital engagement as soccer popularity continues rising across the region. In women's soccer, clubs and international teams continue attracting larger television audiences and increased sponsorship support. Executives believe global investment in women's football will continue accelerating during the coming years. In baseball, international events and cross border partnerships remain key priorities for Major League Baseball. League officials continue using football exhibitions and international outreach to strengthen baseball's worldwide appeal. Olympic athletes are increasingly using social media to build worldwide fan communities. Competitors across swimming, gymnastics, track and field, and other sports are creating digital brands that extend beyond major international competitions. Athletes' entrepreneurship continues becoming more common throughout sports. Players across multiple sports are launching media brands, apparel companies, and charitable initiatives while building careers beyond competition. And finally, sports tourism remains a major economic force for cities hosting international competitions. Large sporting events continue generating tourism revenue, media exposure, and business opportunities throughout the globe of sports marketplace. That's your ASN Sports Update. I'm Carla Vasquez.
Have you been daydreaming about losing weight for years? Do you just yo-yo back and forth? At Innovative Wellness Center, we have a holistic weight loss program that allows you to lose up to 20 pounds in 30 days. People are losing weight like crazy and keeping it off. It can be done from anywhere in the United States. Go to our website at www.innovativewellness.center and schedule your complimentary consultation today.
If you're losing calls, missing leads, or spending too much time chasing customers, this message is for you. Create Assistance helps businesses answer every call, text, and message 24/7 using AI employees without hiring more staff. We handle bookings, follow-ups, reminders, and customer communication all inside one simple system built for small businesses. Stop losing opportunities after hours. Visit createassistance.ai and book a quick call today. We look forward to hearing from you.
Getting together with friends to watch the game? Then you'll need American Premium Vodka. Handcrafted and pure, this is the one thing all Americans can agree on. Founder Mark Gus Scott chose the finest natural elements America has to offer, and you'll taste how great it is to be an American. Now available at Bevmo, GoPuff, Hy-Vee, and Fairway stores. American Premium Vodka. This is the America we need right now. Go to AmericanPremiumVodka.com. Celebrate responsibly.
Quick question. How many calls, texts, or messages does your business miss every week? Nights, weekends, busy days. That's lost money. Create Assistance helps businesses fix that problem using AI employees that answer calls, respond to texts, book appointments, and follow up with leads 24/7 automatically. No extra staff, no complicated software. Everything runs inside one simple command center that replaces scattered tools, missed follow-ups, and manual busy work. Whether you're a service business, office, or multi-location company, Create Assistance keeps your business responsive, organized, and running even when you're off the clock. Stop letting leads slip through the cracks. Visit createassistance.ai to book a free call, or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
Rick Tittle knows his sports.
I hate that guy.
I love that guy. Oh my gosh, he's so fine. Rick Tittle brings home the bacon, fries it up in a pan, and then he eats it.
Ricky T in the hizzle for shizzle, biznatch.
Thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast. Dom, how long is that thing written by AI that nice young girl voices? Is that 2 minutes or 3 minutes?
I think it's about 3.
Is it possible just to play music during my show? I'll ask Darren because we're not getting paid for that, and it's a humiliation, is what it is. It's a humiliation. Large sporting events create big revenue. Yeah, I'm gonna have to leave the room. It's just might be the stupidest thing, even worse than what I say. If you heard that, why would you leave the radio on? God, that is bad. All right, get over it. Okay, I'm over it. Bruce Marshall standing by to talk World Cup with me. Scott Reich has a book called One Day in September about the birth of the All-Star Game, which is pretty cool. The All-Star Game. And JD Sharp's, I'd like to get JD Sharp's on some, his views on some All-Star snubs. It's always weird, too, when I see the All-Star Game and there are guys, and I'm like, I don't know who that guy is. Matt Vasgersian will join us at 11:25. The Home Run Derby is going to be on Netflix. Of course it is. What you got? And also Lena Hall, who's fabulous, and she's been in studio with me. She's on Your Friends and Neighbors. She plays Allie, John Hamm's sister, in that show. But she is a Tony Award-winning Broadway singer, fantastic singer, and she's got some shows coming up as well. Lena will be on the horn this time. Would like to have had her in studio. And then I'll keep my eye on this Egypt-Argentina game. Egypt leading 1-0 at the half with a blocked Lionel Messi penalty. Can they pull that off for another 45 minutes? Probably not. But then again, anything's possible. In sport, as they say in England, it's plural. It's like they say maths, and we just say math. Come on back.
My fellow Americans, let the message ring out that from this day forward, when you buy American, you buy the best. Handcrafted, something premium, something pure. For this is the very essence of what our servicemen and women gave their lives to protect, and by God, we shall not allow their sacrifice to be forgotten. It's time to show the world just how great American can be. And we will not wait for tomorrow to come. We will stand here, this moment, together, and we will start today. Don't ever forget how great it is to be American. America we need right now. America. Premium vodka. Celebrate responsibly.
Let's be honest. Most businesses don't struggle because demand is low. They struggle because their back end can't handle growth. Leads come in, but follow-up is slow. Calls get missed. Appointments don't get confirmed. And everything lives in different places. So even when marketing works, revenue doesn't scale. That's a systems problem. Create Assistance fixes this by building a done-for-you CRM and automation system that captures every lead, follows up automatically, confirms appointments, and keeps everything organized in one place. And only after that foundation is built, AI voice and chat employees get added on. If your business feels chaotic behind the scenes, it's time to fix the back end. Visit createassistance.ai and book your call today. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
Listen, were you forced into getting a solar contract and now you just don't want it anymore? Maybe the solar company misled you. Or is your solar contract buried with hidden fees? Are you not saving the amount of money you thought you would on your energy costs? Don't worry. At the Solar Exit Hotline, we can help you cancel your solar contract. even if the panels are already installed. Our experienced legal team will review your contract and help you cancel it, possibly saving you thousands of dollars. You got to call right now for complete details. So listen, if you're not happy with your solar contract for any reason, we are here to help you cancel it. Call the Solar Exit Hotline now for immediate options to help you exit your solar contract. This call is 100% free.
800-826-4073. 800-826-4073. 800-826-4073. That's 800-826-4073.
Hour 2 of titillating sports. You thought it couldn't get any better, but it's better. Rick Tittle is back. He's so great. I can't believe how awesome he is. More sports talk, yes. Couldn't get any better, but it's better. Rick Tittle is back. He's so great. I can't believe how awesome he is. More sports talk, yes. Hour 2 of titillating sports.
Hey, check out Channel 9. Check out Rick Tittle.
All right, thank you for that. Welcome back to the show. And right now, the second half is underway in Atlanta as Argentina down 1-0 with another Messi blocked penalty in this World Cup. And so the alarm bells aren't ringing just yet, but there is concern, a lot of fingernail biting for Argentina fans and just fans of the sport in general who probably want to see Messi more than Mo Salah. But like I said, anything is possible. And someone who knows that is our good friend Bruce Marshall from the Gold Sheet, who joins us right now. And Bruce, let's just get the bad stuff out of the way. You know, after watching Mexico fight heroically against England, a team that was much better, but they left it all out in the field. Here the U.S. comes out tepid, scared, deer in the headlights, something that I thought we were past, but we're not, are we?
No, and very disappointing, extremely disappointing, Rick. And yeah, in comparison to the Mexico-England, which was a match for the ages. That was the most pulsating World Cup match I'd seen in quite a while. Kind of exhausted after watching that. It was so good. But that was such a letdown last night. And it sort of circled back to what I was saying before the tournament. I really had concerns about the U.S. defensively, and it was all in the run-up to the World Cup. And I know in some of those matches they didn't have the full team there, but you watch some of those matches in Atlanta in March, Belgium, Portugal, and even the Senegal and Germany matches. These teams are moving just way too easily through the U.S. defense. Even Turkey. Now I know there was a big change lineup in that game for the U.S. It was a big change lineup for Turkey too, and they were moving very easily through midfield into the attack zone. So this team didn't have a strong spine, and it wasn't. And I really thought after the first couple of games, well, maybe Coach has this thing right, and he's got these guys pressing high, and he's got them very aggressive, and they've got more flair than past U.S. teams, and this is how you got to coach these guys. But there was always that rear guard there. It just left way too much space for Belgium. Belgium punished the U.S. last night. That was a worse beating than that scoreline looked. And that was sobering. This feels worse than, the Netherlands exit 4 years ago. A lot worse than that. Because you're at home here. You got this World Cup's at home, and you could take it. This is the time to take advantage. These guys are in part of their career where we thought this should really blossom. You think they're going to do better in 2030 in Spain and Portugal and Morocco? Good luck. This was the time to do it, and they fell short.
Well, and we talked about this before the Cup, that I didn't like having an MLS goalie, and he looked just fine until that horrible, it almost looked like hockey where you pull the goalie. That was obscene, and I said, how can basically a 40-year-old be our captain and center half? And we saw him, and just these guys who, everyone looked horrible. Everyone. Yeah. And there was just no oomph. Now, how much do you, because I actually do think, and you might think I'm naive here, but the whole thing with changing the rules, because Trump made a call and said he didn't even know what a red card was, and the whole world was hating us. And so our underdog status, we were going to start with Pepe, and we were going to win anyway. That all went away, and everybody hated us. I don't know. Do you think that got into the players' heads at all?
I think it might have, but what it also did, it got into the Belgian team's head.
Yeah.
Because they were galvanized, and they said, let's punish these guys for this stuff. This is baloney, and it really was.
Yep.
And it really was. That should not have happened, and
Nope.
it just reinforces the stereotype around the globe. I have American preferential treatment and all that. And, I mean, sorry, Trump people. That's what it looks like. I haven't seen as much celebrating around the world for any success Belgium has ever had at anything since after that game last night. I listened to these podcasts overseas. I listened to the Guardian's podcast, which is really good, and all these other ones overseas, and they're just like ecstatic. And I feel bad for Balogun. I mean, he didn't ask for this. I mean, he didn't like the red card, but he accepted it. Yeah, okay. And they went preparing for the match without him, which teams do. Listen, I could think back. You remember the 2002 World Cup? Remember Michael Ballack got that second yellow in the semifinal against South Korea. He was a professional foul, but he missed the final. They didn't get that rescinded just to get Ballack in the final, and he was like Player of the Year that year.
And that was the.
But I feel bad for Balogun too.
Yeah.
I mean, this is gonna, and it's not yet nothing to do with him.
Yeah,
You know,
I
he
think
didn't ask
most
for this.
people. Yeah, most people. I hope are not blaming Ballack. He has nothing to do with it. And
Yeah,
I like. He was
right.
classy. He said, "I accepted the red card, and then I accepted being put back in." And like, what's he gonna do? You want to play in the biggest game of your life? No, it's not. It doesn't look good. So I understand. All right, let's move off our crappy U.S. team. When Paraguay played Germany, from the very first whistle, they were playing for penalties and all their dirty tricks and crying. And I know the guy's name, but I don't want to say his name. Number 23 for Paraguay. I thought, God, this guy is such a scumbag. And they got it done. But then against France, even earlier, slapping people in the face, punching people. And I thought France reacted very well just by laughing at them and thankfully beating them. But what I mean, Paraguay could have easily got the penalties and won again. Do you think there's any recourse for teams that just not only A, don't want to play soccer, and B, just punch you and get no yellow cards?
Fortunate that was the most remarkable thing. They didn't get carded once in that match. Paraguay has done this in the past. Now we haven't seen them at a World Cup since 2010, but if you recall then and the World Cups before that, I mean, deeply cynical play, and thankfully no team takes it to that extreme as Paraguay does. To the extent, I mean, it's unbelievable how cynical they are with it, and the games have no flow. They're always going down. Referee has to stop the play for a few minutes. They've mastered the art of time wasting, fouls. They were trying to wind up the French players and get one of them sent off. I think that was the other strategy there. And then if they get to extra time and then into penalties, all the better. But it was almost laughable, really, to watch what they were doing, and give France credit for maintaining its poise there. It looked like, Olise looked like he was ready to snap at one point in the second half, but he kind of kept his cool, and then Mbappe, to his credit, just laughed. But no, it was cynical soccer to the extreme. Thankfully, I don't think anybody does it that way as much as Paraguay.
All right, last question for you, and I know you're partial to Spain, and as much as we like looking at Lamal and Oyarzabal and Baena and Olmo, that defense now, and this is, I mean, it's amazing they're not even playing Raya; they're going with Unai Simon, but I mean, they don't get scored on, and it was a pretty boring game against Portugal, but they were methodical and they ended up winning it late, and so Spain now, I mean, I just think that the most impressive thing about them is the way they're playing defense right now.
Yeah, and and their possession game keeps the ball away from the other team, so that's part of it too. But they do play team defense great. I agree with you. I think Raya's a little cut above Simon, but De La Fuente is partial to Simon because of coaching at the youth level, and you can't argue with what he's been doing for the national team, what he did at the Euros, and what he's been doing in this shutout streak. Although a lot of it is what's in front of him there, and he's just not seen a lot of shots, but he does seem to deliver when he gets a chance. Spain, though, is sort of interesting playing Portugal, where they've been bending over backwards for Cristiano Ronaldo, and whatever you think about Roberto Martinez and what he was trying to do. I mean, that's what they were doing. Spain's is like, this is the perfect essence of a team, even though Yamal gets all this publicity. They don't. It's a team effort there. There's different guys stepping up. I mean, those were Ferran Torres and Moreno off the bench, conspired for that winning goal yesterday. It's different guys at different times. Or Thabo comes through. Baena scored goals. Rodri has actually played a great game. Didn't score yesterday, but I mean, he's getting better from his knee injury. So it's a quintessential team. It's a collision course with France, unless Belgium or Morocco can upset the apple cart in the semis. Maybe Morocco could against France, but I think that's the matchup everybody wants to see in the semis. We might get it next Tuesday.
Yeah, and of course, I'm very much looking forward to that. Norway, I mean, yeah, we're out of time, but I'd love to talk about what they're doing. They're just one of those just feel good teams, and they're going to play England and Miami, which is going to be hopefully a barn burner as well. All right, before I let you go, the Gold Sheet and other places, where can we see what's going on?
Thanks, Ricky. Yeah, we got all our picks up there at underneath the wagertalk.com umbrella. That's where Gold Sheet is. And the goldsheet.com, and then we've got picks and parlays, winners and whiners.com there as well. And also goldsheet.com, more in the football season, but wagertalk.com is where you get all of the picks for me right now.
Are you watching this?
My wife is just screaming. I guess Egypt did something.
Egypt now 2-0. Uh-oh, Bruce.
She's screaming downstairs, so I know it's something.
Well, you're a professional because you're doing this without a TV in front of you, and I am. So I didn't mean to step on your plug, but it was pretty shocking.
I could kind of tell when my wife was yelling downstairs.
All right. So once again, give me the plug. I'm sorry I stepped on it.
No problem. Go up to wagertalk.com, get all my picks up there, baseball, soccer, and football, not too long away.
The great Bruce Marshall. Bruce, thanks so much, and thanks for your insights. Appreciate it.
Okay, Ricky.
All right. I'm Rick Tittle. We will come on back on the other side.
Right now, you can switch from cable television to satellite television for free. That's right, we're offering free equipment, free installation, plus get a free $100 prepaid Visa card. Call the Satellite TV hotline right now. Make the switch from cable to satellite television and expand your viewing horizon. On top of free installation, for a limited time, we're offering a fixed price guarantee. With Satellite TV, you'll save money over your expensive cable bill. Plus, get access to hundreds of channels. And when you call right now, you can also ask about our seniors and military discounts. So make the switch to Satellite TV right now. Everybody gets free installation, free equipment, plus a $100 prepaid Visa card. Call right now and you can switch to Satellite TV and be watching everything you wanted to within the next week. And remember, installation's free, so call right now. 800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. That's 800-696-2871.
I'm holding in my hand the American Silver Eagle dollar. It's a beautiful piece of American history, and it's 1 ounce of silver. Originally minted in 1986, these coins are a beautiful classic piece of American history, and they're a great investment you should add to your portfolio. The beauty of silver is that however much you have available to invest, silver is affordable and easy to acquire, with one coin costing around $30. So, if you choose to invest a few thousand in silver, you can get quite a bit for your money, and you'll have a tangible asset that you can hold, one you can be proud to own. Claim your piece of American history with American Silver Eagle dollars. Call the Silver Hotline right now.
800-620-1624. 800-620-1624. 800-620-1624. That's 800-620-1624.
Lower your car payment today. Lower your car payment today. Yes, you heard us right. You can lower your car payment right now by making this free call and save up to $1,400 a year on your current car payments. Think about your current car payment right now. What's that costing you per year? Now think about what it would be like to put an extra $1,400 back in your pocket. That's the average savings our customers experience. We can help you drive the same car and pay less every month by lowering your car payments interest rate to as low as 4.67%. At Rate Genius, we can work with you to refinance any car payment. If you qualify, it costs you nothing to find out how you can lower your car payment. To learn more, call this number right now.
800-832-2816. 800-832-2816. 800-832-2816. That's 800-832-2816.
I hope I don't see you for a while. Getting sick of you.
Take your sick ass in the hospital.
I don't want to walk around with them. 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 I don't want to walk around with them.
Rick Tittle can usually be found at He Baby Mama House.
Thanks for that. Dom, are you watching the game? What was wrong with that goal that they called it back? Was he offside?
Argentina lost the ball in the attack. They're attacking third, and it was a foul in the run-up, even though it was at the other end of the field.
Was it BS, or do you think it was deserved?
No, dude, definitely. The Egyptian guy definitely stepped on the Argentinian guy's foot, but it was like 20 seconds between foul and goal.
Wow.
It's both a good call and a terrible call.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. Thanks for that, by the way. Bill Burr said, I heard him one time say, in the history of guys who've run back punts or kickoffs for touchdowns, he says more of them have been called back than allowed. And I thought, that is interesting. But I think about it, and I think he's right. Way more. Way more have been called back than have been allowed since I've been watching. But yeah, so if you didn't understand what Don was saying, it's basically that if you score a goal, but you gained possession of the ball in an illegal way, in other words, as a foul, even if you're 80 yards away, the entire move, you could have 14 passes after that. But the move initiated with a foul. And the problem with that, like he was saying, it's deserved, but also terrible. The reason it's terrible is because it was a long time ago. You know what I mean? It's like if it's a foul, then call the foul. And in today's world now, because of VAR, even when a guy is offside, you'll wait and you'll wait and you'll wait and you'll wait. Then they score the goal. Then you put up the offside flag. And I've been watching soccer, well, my whole life, but really during this new thing now, and I can't tell you how many times goalies have been absolutely trucked and barged and smashed and cremated on a play that should have just been called offsides, but they're coming off for some cross, and then equally outfield players as well, these horrible collisions when it was going to be called off the entire time, which is really weird. So anyway, look, we want justice, right? And so, for me as a soccer enthusiast and as a kid, being very disappointed that the World Cup, the United States did not play in a World Cup until I was a legal adult. So my whole childhood, and it wasn't on TV either, except for Spanish language television. It was not on American TV. And it wasn't until the 1986 in Mexico World Cup final, and they called it, I've said this before, the Budweiser World Series of Soccer, and Roger Twibell was with Kyle Rote Jr., former U.S. men's national player. And he goes, a corner kick, that's good, right? And it's like, oh. It was like watching a movie with a senile relative Why did he do that? I thought he was. No, that's not what it was. Like, oh, okay. But anyway, the Bruce made a good point. Not only to get in the Americans' heads, but it got in the Belgians' heads as well, because Belgium officially said, when I read it yesterday from their FA, saying this, if a guy is suspended, he's suspended. Full stop. That's it. Now Egypt has scored, and that one's going to count. There's nothing wrong with that one, and it's getting pretty insane. So yeah, I think a lot of us just assume Messi, because I'm too messy. It's going to be in the final. Anyway, Egypt has about a half hour, if you think about added time and pausa de hidratación. That's another 3 minutes. But yeah, they have 3 minutes to get their ass together, and really not to win it, but just to get it to extra time. I can't see them scoring 3 goals here. So anyway, getting back, we could have quarters of 6 European and 2 African teams. That's the way it could look right now, because we already have Morocco. That'd be pretty crazy for North Africa to have both Egypt and Morocco. By the way, Egypt is no slouch. This isn't like a Curacao or even a Johnny come lately like a Cape Verde who played so well. And by the way, they played valiantly against Argentina, put the fear of the Lord into them, 2-2 at one point. And that's what's so disappointing about us, because I remember when we played quote unquote like Americans. In other words, it looked like it was men against boys. It looked like a team that knew what it was doing, and then we didn't know what we were doing. And just to see everybody on eggshells and no one take the game by the scruff, and they're putting on guys. I mean, there were 3 seconds left in the game when Haji Wright came on, and Max Arfston came on, I guess only because Poach promised him he would play in a game, because why would you put a defender on? Shout out UC Davis, one of their players is now playing in a World Cup. Good for them. It's about the only thing to shout about, I guess, if you're an Aggies soccer fan. And I picked a lot of foul balls off that soccer field in the last couple of years when Yuba Sutter was playing on the campus there at Davis. Anyway, you just think about all the good players we have and how many were awful, and singing the praises of Freeman, who was atrocious. Tim Ream, 2 goals were his fault. And then I thought, is anyone really giving themselves any credit in this match? And I thought, well, maybe Chris Richards, and then he gives the ball away to Big Rom for the 4th goal. Pulisic on the left wing, he and Anthony Robinson, our 2 best players, basically. Whenever they got the ball, they looked like they were working something down the field, and they were staying away from the left side. I don't know why. And then Pulisic comes off hurt. What was wrong? Don't really know. My leg. I mean, we know that he had been dealing with an injury. I guess it got exacerbated. And then I was just trying to think, Tyler Adams played a horrible game. McKinney looked like he had his head up his butt. Dest. I mean, he and McKinney looked at each other and let a ball drop in the box for their first goal. It looked like guys who had never played together before. It looked like guys who all thought that they were going to get cut, that it was nerve-wracking. And I just, they looked at Belgium, a team that scored 5 goals against them a few months ago, and they thought, well, let's just give up another 4. And this Belgian team was ripe for beating. This was not like playing a monster. Are they better than the U.S.? Yes. But we were at home. And just all these good vibes. Like Bruce said, I thought maybe Poach had gotten it right. And I don't blame him. But I thought all the money that's been spent to go out and get an elite coach who costs $4 million a year, you just want to go down fighting. Like Mexico, I said it before the game. England has a way better team. But they're in the Azteca. In 30 years, they've lost twice? In 30 years. It was going to be a tall ask. But Mexico fought and they fought and they fought with their, literally inferior players. And they almost won the damn game. And the USA was like, you take it. No, you take it. No, you. And then it just, to me, it looked like the national team in the 80s all over again. And that's the most, look, I can understand you lose an amazing game, but the one where you look like you're just a bunch of scaredy cats, that's not good. I'm Rick Tittle. We'll come on back and we will talk to Scott Reich.
Deviants in the street. Obscenity, I can't repeat. Decadence and promiscuity. The world's a den of iniquity. Vulgarity is overused. Debauchery leaves me unamused. So if you really want to be in the groove, be like me and be a prude. It's so boring to be loose.
We call ourselves ASAP Travel for one reason. We can help you book a ticket ASAP. For those of you that don't know, that means as soon as possible. That means no wait time. You get through right away. No searching online. Our specialty is the lowest available fares on the big name airlines. You know them. We can't tell you their names. You can fly domestically or internationally and save more money than you could if you call the airlines directly. Our proprietary software goes underneath the hood of the major airline booking systems and finds you the best rates available. So if you're ready to make your travel plans right now, business or vacation travel, we have all the major airlines always at great rates. Call ASAP Trips and we'll have your ticket in your inbox in 15 minutes. Call this number now.
800-364-2984. 800-364-2984. 800-364-2984. That's 800-364-2984.
Caddy didn't come from a textbook. Before we started it, we were quoted $60,000 for a piece of software our business needed. So instead, we sat down with our own AI setup and built the whole thing ourselves for just a couple $100. That gap, $60,000 down to $200. That is the whole idea behind Caddy. And once we saw what was possible, we could not unsee it. We built it into a system, and now we build it for other businesses too. If you're using ChatGPT or Claude in a browser tab, you're touching maybe 10% of what these tools can really do. Caddy is the other 90%, wired into how your business actually runs. The repetitive work, handled. The details that slip through, caught. The hours you lose to busy work, back. We come in, we build, we train your team, you take the keys. No $300,000 executive hire, no year-long project, no learning curve. Just your own unfair advantage built around how you already work. Book a free strategy call at meetcaddy.com. That's meetcaddy.com. Caddy, your unfair advantage.
Every champion has a team behind them. And for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion, their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled Katy.org. Team up with them today.
I honestly just got the chills as you described it again for me.
You must be crazy. Use a DOG. And if you was my man, I would have been kicked you out of my house by now. This is what had happened.
All right, that's elaborate. Welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network, and holding up the book to our Twitch.tv and YouTube cameras here. It's entitled and it's brand new today from Compass Rose Publishing. One Day in September, Baseball, Brotherhood, and the Birth of the All-Star Game. And joining us right now is the author of that book, Scott D. Reich. Scott, welcome to the show. And, there's so many things that we just sort of take for granted, the All-Star Game and hearing the history of it, and there used to be two of them and all this stuff. But at some point, it had to get started. What was it about this book and the impetus behind tackling this topic?
Well, first, Rick, thanks for having me on. As for the origin story here, there was a lead sports writer in America named Tim Murnane, and he died unexpectedly of a heart attack in 1917. And baseball decided that they owed him something, and they wanted to take care of his family, who had very little money. So they had a benefit game at Fenway Park, September of 1917, while the U.S. is in World War I. And it's a remarkable story because it's not only played at a historic Fenway Park, and Babe Ruth is the pitcher for the Red Sox, but they bring a galaxy of all-stars from around the league who are literally leaving the games that they're scheduled to play to participate in this special exhibition. And on their own dime, risking injury, taking overnight trains, Ty Cobb, Shoeless Joe Jackson, Walter Johnson, managed by Connie Mack, they all show up. And they decide to have a home run derby, a whole entertainment thing, and raise a lot of money for the game. So that's the real origin story. This is 1917. And then, of course, it becomes official with a different game in 1933.
Now, I'm a baseball lifer, and I never heard of this. So when did you hear about it?
I heard about it a little over a year ago. I was actually researching a different book that's totally unrelated, and I came across a baseball exhibition that had been played on the White House lawn, and that sort of tickled me a little bit. I was like, I haven't heard about that before. This is during the Civil War. And one thing led to another in an online rabbit hole, and I was like, wow, there's this guy. They had this benefit game for this guy that I never heard of. So I looked up the guy, and this guy, Tim Murnane, and he had written, he was the sports editor for the Boston Globe for 3 decades. And turned out that he had a pretty illustrious set of contributions to the game. He'd been an early player when the National League started in 1876. He was a scout, an umpire, head of basically the original minor league system, commissioner of different leagues, and yet he's been totally forgotten to history. And the more I read, the more I wanted to bring this alive. So I started going through archives of the Boston Globe to find some of his columns and hear about what his real contributions were. And it turns out he was one of the great evangelizers of the game. Back then, he would write books literally called How to Play Baseball and come out with new editions each year in which he would instruct Americans, not just in Boston, but around the country, of how to play this game and what it meant to be in the pastime. And in fact, I think that's actually one of the most important pieces of his legacy and of this era, which is that they weren't just building a sport. They were helping to build a nation, too. And you can see the civic reflex that was sort of common back then when tragedy struck or where there was a need to bring community together. Baseball became a way that people could do that.
In soccer, they used to have this thing in England called testimonials, where a guy would retire and then they would kind of get local 11s together and they would say, hey, whatever the gate is, you could have it. That was kind of a tribute. But for this isn't a local guy. As you said, you're getting in all the best players from all around the country when travel was anything but easy. I would imagine there was tremendous pushback from owners of other teams saying, you're not only missing our game, as you said, you might get hurt. What was that like, and why was this writer so beloved that these players were risking that?
There's a couple things there, Rick. First, the National League and American League commissioners both got behind this idea right away. And they, in fact, were the first people to buy box seats. So there was encouragement from the top, from the leadership. I think one of the reasons that the owners allowed it is because of Murnane's reputation, of everything that he had done. He was somebody who protected the integrity of the game. He became known as perhaps the earliest conscience of baseball, and he would advocate for rule changes when he felt that pitchers were overpowering batters. So he would say, let's move the pitching mound back. He would call people out for different things. For example, in the nascent American League, there was a private preference among the commissioner and some owners for one of the big city teams to win the pennant because it would be better for business. And he leaked a story like that to the press to say, we can never allow that because we can't cheapen the integrity of the game. So he was somebody who had helped people rise up in the game, who had been a sort of CEO whisperer to the owners of the game, and he got to know all the players. So he developed this reputation as a person of integrity, of strong character. and somebody who was a mentor to dozens and dozens, in fact, probably countless numbers of young players. So that was the impulse for people. And I think this is also something you're touching on that is really remarkable about that era. The idea that people would gather in the wake of tragedy was actually fairly normal. It was unremarkable, and that's obviously an incredible contrast to today. I mean, it's not that we're not generous, of course we are, but we don't have these situations where tragedy strikes and then we say, let's drop everything that we're doing and play a baseball game and get all of our top players to leave what they're doing to participate. It doesn't happen. So we've lost something along the way, and there was something just special of that era. I mean, people felt that the way that they respond to something is they gather physically at scale, and they come to a ballpark and they do something together. Parents were bringing children, buying programs. People were obviously attuned to what was going on worldwide with the war, but this became not just a distraction, but a way for people to feel connected to each other.
It's a great point because you think about how important print was. Like even in that Last Dance with Jordan, like all the beefs he had with writers, and nowadays writers don't have the same gravitas when it comes to the public. But that was the only media coverage, especially in those days. The other thing to keep in, I have to remind myself too, is in those days the writers, if you went way out west to St. Louis, you were on the trains, you were playing cards with the players, you might be gambling, carousing with girls, whatever it was. I mean, it was a different type of almost a fraternity, wasn't it?
It certainly was. And one of the things that Murnane did that I think endeared him to readers is that he not only covered the games themselves and attended and wrote about them, but he actually also visited the players in the off season and for the participants in spring training, meaning he actually went to the people's farms and their apartments and their houses, wherever they were in the off season, to get to know them better and to bring these stories to life. So he actually became one of the earliest writers who was responsible for giving a window for fans into the actual lives of players. And they trusted him because he'd been around the game since the beginning, and he became this sort of bridge from its earliest years when gambling was rampant and all the things that you just described, but also still being a guardian of the initial principles that brought it together. And it's hard for us to remember today because we're so far into the future from back then, but baseball was really the great melting pot of America. It didn't matter if you spoke English or where you came from. If you could hit a ball with a bat, there was a place for you on the field. And so when I mentioned before that there was this idea of nation building, I think Murnane saw in the game the opportunity to build civic infrastructure and to build civic routines around not only going to the ballpark, but building traditions and enabling families to connect multi-generationally over something that became the pastime.
So what was maybe one thing when you did the deep dive when that you were like, well, that's really remarkable? What was there something that was almost like you had to read it twice to say, wow, that really happened?
The general outlook of players back then, the toughness, the grit. I mean, these guys. There was an anecdote I read of Tris Speaker, the great outfielder, who was on a squeeze play and coming from third to home, and one of his teammates swung, hit a ball, and hit him directly in the face, and bleeding everywhere. He left the game, and the courtesy of the other manager actually enabled him to re-enter the game, even though, of course, you can't return in a baseball game. He had been stitched up in a matter of minutes, and he was back on the field. So there was a different set of expectations back then in terms of just the grit that these guys exhibited. And, or especially in the early years, what I really didn't have an appreciation for was just how fluid the game really was, not only from a sporting perspective, but from a cultural one. And what I mean by that is that contracts were not honored. I mentioned before that the gambling was everywhere. This was a sport that really wasn't so well codified for a long time. And then you had leagues emerge and clubs emerge and the professionalization of the game. And I guess what struck me most was that it felt like not just a simpler time, but that the values that were part of the sport were sort of synonymous with the values that the country was trying to impart. I mean, the time that Murnane lived this, we're talking, Teddy Roosevelt's America, where he's actively talking about citizenship in a republic. What does it mean to be an individual in a society? And the crossover between those two things, I think people felt an obligation to feel connected to one another. That doesn't mean baseball wasn't war. It was war, and they went hard for each other, spikes up, and, it was a very physical game back then. So I would say just, being able to step into a different world was what sort of struck me as, wow, I just didn't have as sincere an appreciation as I now do, having read all these stories.
Just a couple of minutes. So real quick, last question. We always hear that, like, Walt Disney saw Tivoli Gardens in Copenhagen and he got the idea for Disneyland. So when they did in the 30s come up with the idea of the All-Star Game, did they directly point out to say, we've pulled this off before? Did people remember this?
They didn't point to this game specifically. The 33 game occurred in Chicago when the Chicago Tribune was trying to enhance the Chicago World's Fair. And so it was not even intended to be an annual event. It was intended to be a one-off exhibition then. But there's no doubt that the traces of this story were part of that one, because even before the 1917 Murnane Memorial Game at Fenway that I wrote about, in 1915, just 2 years earlier, Baseball Magazine wrote a whole proposal about there should be a 9-game annual All-Star series between the National and American leagues. And so this idea had been percolating. What made it special for the Murnane game was that they did it at scale, and they had the skills competitions I mentioned before, the home run derby, most accurate throw, longest throw, race around the bases, plus the game itself. So while the tradition itself sort of, meandered over time, it was the synthesis that occurred at 1917 that made 1933 possible.
Unbelievable stuff. I love baseball history because it's American history. This book is One Day in September, Baseball Brotherhood and the Birth of the All-Star Game. Brand new today, as I mentioned, from Compass Rose Publishing. We've been speaking with Scott D. Reich. Scott, good stuff. Congrats, and let's catch up on your next one.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much, Rick.
All right, I'm Rick Tittle. Let's take a quick break. We'll come on back on Sports Byline.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8223. 800-690-8223. 800-690-8223. That's 800-690-8223.
I am an American veteran. I'm proud to have served this country. Helping veterans is something all Americans can participate in, and it's as simple as donating an old car that you have sitting around. When you call the Veteran Car Donation Program, they'll explain how their program works, and then arrange a time they can come and pick up your vehicle for free. Running or not, it doesn't matter. They take cars, trucks, motorcycles, or vans. As a veteran, show your support by donating your car and get a tax deduction in the process. Call the Veteran Card Donation Program right now. They'll come and pick your car up for free, and you'll get a tax deduction in the process. Call the number we're about to give you right now. Thank you, and God bless America.
800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. That's 800-887-1097. Proceeds support Heroes on the Water.
Let's be honest. Most businesses don't struggle because demand is low. They struggle because their back end can't handle growth. Leads come in, but follow-up is slow. Calls get missed. Appointments don't get confirmed. And everything lives in different places. So even when marketing works, revenue doesn't scale. That's a systems problem. Create Assistance fixes this by building a done-for-you CRM and automation system that captures every lead, follows up automatically, confirms appointments, and keeps everything organized in one place. And only after that foundation is built, AI voice and chat employees get added on. If your business feels chaotic behind the scenes, it's time to fix the back end. Visit createassistance.ai and book your call today. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
This is special too. It's look, see, still got the old tagger on it. So you've never even played it. See?
You just bought it.
Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
I wasn't gonna touch it.
No, don't touch it.
I was just pointing at it.
Well, don't point even.
Don't even point?
No, it can't be played. Never. I mean,
Can I look at it?
No, you've seen
Don't
enough
look
of
at
that one.
I'm so disgusted by Rick Tittle that I find him very intoxicating.
Extraordinary happenings in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Before I started that interview with the commercial, the interview, and it was a nice interview with Scott, good book. Argentina has scored 3 goals. And what's funny is that Egypt had a chance to go up 3-2 a couple of times. Now they have VAR looking at how this whole move started as well. And Mo Salah said he got tripped. I don't think he did. The possession of the ball was there. So we are deep into stoppage time now. We used to call it injury time. And unbelievably, a guy unmarked in the box on a long cross. And Messi scored the second goal, the tying goal, and someone texted me, said, poor Andres Cantor, if you could only hear his voice right now. And that's the other thing too, is that like that whole USA game, I watch everything in Spanish, so a lot of times I don't know what's going on if something happens. But I remember Eisenhower, he meant something different, Beavis and Butthead, but when the USA entered the war, he said, beware a democracy aroused. In other words, America, yeah, you think we're just sitting around being cowboys, and just want to let you know that we will whip your behind. And Egypt head coach has been, not head coach, an Egypt coach has been red carded in this game. It's really extraordinary. But what I mean by that is Argentina aroused. They were down 2 goals, and Cuti Romero got the first one. The Tottenham fullback, I can't tell you how many times this year he threw himself forward and scored a goal. The one against Newcastle, a bicycle kick against Bournemouth, he came through again for Argentina. And there's still another 4 minutes to go. I'm Rick Tittle. We got another hour. Come on back.
I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-minute warning. In the late 1980s, my mother's parents bought a little retirement home in Long Neck, Delaware, right on the Indian River Bay. We'd go down often to visit, and while it was only about 120 miles away from where I lived, it was like a completely different world. And for a kid like me, that was great, because it meant all new media to consume. Especially the radio stations. I love to compare and contrast what I heard with what I'd hear back home from the stations out of Baltimore and Washington. With nothing but the Atlantic Ocean to the east on the lowlands of a rural seascape, the ability to take in sound waves from up and down the East Coast was magical. This was long before the collective flooded the environment full of electromagnetic interference. I'd go out to their enclosed patio with a little Radio Shack radio with shortwave capabilities. I always wanted one of those Grundig yacht boys, but they were way too expensive. And I'd sit out there all night long, scrolling up and down the dial, trying to catch the furthest signal. Definitely got WCNN 680 out of Atlanta, but I remember when I stumbled on a station down the Tidewater, Virginia Beach, I think. I found somebody talking about sports, and it wasn't coming from WFAN in New York. The youngs probably don't get why that was a revelation, but the olds out there listening do. Sports radio hadn't begun as a concept until 1987, and while it took off in New York, it took a very long time before it became a success across the country. Overnights were still owned by men like Larry King, Tom Snyder, Jim Bohannon, and Art Bell. For a kid who was obsessed with sports as he was with radio, I'd hit the jackpot. It was a guy named Ron Barr on a show called Sports Overnight America. By the time my friends got to know who he was as the voice and the face of the EA Sports Network across many games, including the iconic Madden and NHL games of the era, I was already a big fan. I'd pick up the show from any station I could find. It was awesome because he could talk to anyone about anything and do so in a cordial manner. He sounded warm and enthused to talk about whatever the subject was. Even at that time, there were few guys who were great at doing that with anyone, let alone the greats of their game. Ron Barr has talked to all of them over the years. You ever heard of Mickey Mantle? How about Bill Russell? Willie Mays? Soccer with Pele. Tennis with John McEnroe. Speed skating with Bonnie Blair. The entertaining side of sports with Meadowlark Lemon or Macho Man Randy Savage. I was mesmerized. I'd sit there listening and think how cool it would one day be to be able to talk about sports on the radio. And because of Ron Barr and everyone at Sports Byline USA, I've been able to do that. Now, this is the last Sports Byline 2-minute warning, my version of it, at least for a while. I'll be on assignment, which translates into my employers pulling rank. But in this age of media where so many of our cherished, valued, and venerable outlets have been ripped of their resources, ripped of their dignity, or shuttered completely, I cannot tell you how much I still appreciate what Sports Byline USA brings, and the constant comforts of shows like Rick Tittle, Wrestling Observer Live, Ring Talk, Speed Freaks, and of course, Sports Overnight America. And I thank all of you out there for continuing to listen and continuing to support Sports Byline USA. Until I talk to you again, I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-minute warning.
If you're losing calls, missing leads, or spending too much time chasing customers, this message is for you. Create Assistance helps businesses answer every call, text, and message 24/7 using AI employees without hiring more staff. We handle bookings, follow-ups, reminders, and customer communication all inside one simple system built for small businesses. Stop losing opportunities after hours. Visit createassistance.ai and book a quick call today. We look forward to hearing from you.
Have you been daydreaming about losing weight for years? Do you just yo-yo back and forth? At Innovative Wellness Center, we have a holistic weight loss program that allows you to lose up to 20 pounds in 30 days. People are losing weight like crazy and keeping it off. It can be done from anywhere in the United States. Go to our website at www.innovativewellness.center and schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Quick question. How many calls, texts, or messages does your business miss every week? Nights, weekends, busy days. That's lost money. Create Assistance helps businesses fix that problem using AI employees that answer calls, respond to texts, book appointments, and follow up with leads 24/7 automatically. No extra staff, no complicated software. Everything runs inside one simple command center that replaces scattered tools, missed follow-ups, and manual busy work. Whether you're a service business, office, or multi-location company, Create Assistance keeps your business responsive, organized, and running even when you're off the clock. Stop letting leads slip through the cracks. Visit createassistance.ai to book a free call or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
Rick Tittle knows his sports.
I hate that guy.
I love that guy. Oh my gosh, he's so fine. Rick Tittle brings home the bacon, fries it up in a pan, and then he eats it.
Ricky T in the hizzle for shizzle, biznatch.
Well, extraordinary events in the World Cup as Argentina storms back in the last 20 minutes after being down 2-0 to beat Egypt in normal time, 3-2, as we got into 12 minutes of extended time. I'll never understand when you're in a hurry why you would want to waste time with coaches arguing. The ref had to run over to the Egyptian sideline to talk to all the coaches. Red card 1, yellow card 3 other ones. More discussion. And look, I really don't like Argentina. I'll just be honest with you. I don't hate them. I don't like them. I love Cuti Romero because he's the Tottenham captain, but I've seen them win enough. I'm not a big Messi fan, but I am a fan of the game, and this is the only game that I'm a fan of. I'm not a fan of football or baseball or basketball as in the purity of the sport. In other words, when Jordan played Magic in the finals, I didn't watch it. Who gives a damn? I walked out when Nolan Ryan was about to throw no-hitter against the A's. I didn't want to be there for that. So I am a little B-word when it comes to those sports because I only care about my team. World Cup, though, I can appreciate the sport, and it's better. I'm sorry, Pharaohs fans, but it's better for Argentina to advance than Egypt. But if you lose, I got no sympathy for you. And even though I don't like Argentina, this game helped take some of that bad taste out of my mouth from the game I watched yesterday where the USA just stood around and lost to an elderly Belgian team. I mean, Messi is in tears right now. Absolutely in tears. So I'm going to have to watch later the calls by Andres Cantor, the great Andres Cantor. So now we have all the quarterfinalists set except one. We still need to play the game between Switzerland and Colombia coming up at 1 o'clock Pacific. And then we will be set for the Elite Eight. All right, 1-800-878-PLAY is the call. Matt Vasgersian this hour, and Lena Hall. Come on back.
Sometimes life changes, and the house you once loved becomes a burden. Too many repairs, too many memories, too much to handle on your own. If you'd like to sell your home fast, we can help at the Home Buyers Hotline. We can help you sell your home as is, no cleaning, no showings, and there are absolutely no hidden fees or real estate commissions. We'll pay you a fair price for your home in cash. Whether you're downsizing, handling an estate, or just ready for peace of mind, call us. We'll help you walk away from your problem property in no time at all and get you the cash in your bank account with little hassles. If you'd like to sell your home fast, as is, we can help at the Home Buyers Hotline.
Call Want to Sell Your Home now for a free quote to sell your home in any condition. Call 800-950-3143. 800-950-3143. That's 800-950-3143. Right now, you can switch from cable television to satellite television for free. That's right, we're offering free equipment, free installation, plus get a free $100 prepaid Visa card. Call the Satellite TV hotline right now. Make the switch from cable to satellite television and expand your viewing horizon. On top of free installation, for a limited time, we're offering a fixed price guarantee. With Satellite TV, you'll save money over your expensive cable bill. Plus, get access to hundreds of channels. And when you call right now, you can also ask about our seniors and military discounts. So make the switch to satellite TV right now. Everybody gets free installation, free equipment, plus a $100 prepaid Visa card. Call right now and you can switch to satellite TV and be watching everything you wanted to within the next week. And remember, installation's free, so call right now. 800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. That's 800-696-2871.
I'm holding in my hand the American Silver Eagle dollar. It's a beautiful piece of American history, and it's 1 ounce of silver. Originally minted in 1986, these coins are a beautiful classic piece of American history, and they're a great investment you should add to your portfolio. The beauty of silver is that however much you have available to invest, silver is affordable and easy to acquire, with one coin costing around $30. So, if you choose to invest a few thousand in silver, you can get quite a bit for your money, and you'll have a tangible asset that you can hold, one you can be proud to own. Claim your piece of American history with American Silver Eagle dollars. Call the Silver Hotline right now.
800-620-1624. 800-620-1624. 800-620-1624. That's 800-620-1624.
Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle is a genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful, genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful. Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle he's so handsome, he's a genius.
I am so excited to be back on the Rick Tittle Show.
All right. Thank you for that. 1-800-878-PLAY. We're going to talk a little home run derby in the next segment with Matt Vasgersian, a East Bay legend. We will talk to Matt. And so the lines are available at 1-800-878-PLAY. No alibis. Well, let's just face it, you're very ugly. I hate saying it, but it's true. So now that as I look forward now into after the Switzerland-Colombia game, we're going to take a day off. Yes, it's been a while, but we will have no soccer tomorrow, and I'm going to have withdrawals. Unless you want to go up to Arden and watch the Sac Republic take on Rhode Island FC, because USL didn't stop. But then France, allons de la patrie, they will take on Morocco in the first quarterfinal. That's Thursday. We're now down to one game a day. Friday will be Spain versus Belgium. I would imagine Belgium would dispatch them. Senegal really should have beat Belgium when they choked in the end. And then the USA said, please don't hurt us, to Belgium, which was a shame. On Saturday, we will get two games. And I will have to definitely sneak away from Edgewood to see Norway, England. And it's too bad. I mean, whoever wins that game, I'm going to hope wins the whole thing. And I wish that they had a possibility to play in the final. But, I mean, you think about Holland, who was, born in England and spent most of his life in England when his dad was playing in the Premier League. All the different storylines that go through there. As England said, it's coming home. That's what they always like to say. They've been saying that since Euro 96 that they hosted. It's coming home. In other words, it's our trophy. Even though it was invented by a French guy, Jules Rimet. So Norway and England at 2 o'clock on Saturday. And then at 6 o'clock will be L'Argentina against whoever wins in the game today, Switzerland and Colombia. And that's a coin toss for me. I would actually lean Switzerland in that one. I'd say 51%. Gun to head, I would take Hupschwitz, the Swiss cheese. That's their nickname. No, it's not. And then on Tuesday, we will get our first semifinal right at noon Pacific, and that'll either be France and Morocco versus Spain or Belgium. And on paper, that's a France versus Spain semifinal, and how mouthwatering would that be? An amazing matchup on paper. And then Wednesday, the other semifinal will be the winner of the Norway-England game, probably against Argentina. And you just think England, Argentina, the hand of God, all of that. But, like I said, I'm a Scandinavian American, and this is why I am hairless on my chest and I burn in the sun and I'm albino. It's because I'm Teutonic, Anglo-Saxon, Scandinavian. My name is Jan Janssen. I live in Wisconsin. And then that should be, I would love to see France, Spain, England, Argentina. That would be amazing. And then I would love to see England go to the final. That would be really cool. I've been an England fan forever. Before I had to redo the, I guess you would call it, computer room den in my house because of a leaky pipe, I had about 5,000 England scarves, Tottenham scarves. I had a scarf from multiple World Cups, and I even threw in an earthquake scarf in there just for fun. Those are all down now. I just have 2 flags up. I have my Tottenham Cross of St. George flag, and then I also bought the flag when Tottenham won the Europa League, I should say. That flag is up. But the question is now, what now for America? I mean, Pochettino's going to go to AC Milan, I would imagine. Think about Germany. What a sleeping giant they are. They just hired Jurgen Klopp, and he is not going to stand for any of this garbage anymore. He's going to have. It's hard to say a German revolution because they already have so many good players, and the Bundesliga is not as good as the Premier League, but it's still a top 5 league in the world. It's much better than most other leagues, and he's going to have a bit of a revolution in Germany. But I do worry about where we go now. But it's the kind of thing where I was talking to a guy who runs this convenience store, but it's kind of a posh convenience store because it's in Kensington. And he's from India, and he was asking me some soccer questions. And I just said, I think it's, I know that cricket is the national sport of India, but over 1 billion people and never been to a World Cup. And he's like, yeah, we're just not into it. I'm like, well, it's kind of, the thing is, India never tried. China has tried and tried and tried. I got to 1, but yeah, it's not a priority. It's not a cultural thing. But when you look around and you'd say, this is the best we have to offer, Tim Ream, who at one time was a okay Premier League. He's an over-the-hill MLS, and Poach makes him the captain. We have an MLS goalie. And I'm not, look, Freeze had a great save in the first minute, and that kind of set the tone for the game. It was like, oh, crap. He really had a nice save. It's just the howler that he had, goalies don't do that. Now, then again, Hugo Lloris did almost the same thing in a World Cup final that France won. He had a Merkel boner like that where it was like France had it won, and then they gave up that. Look, Rob Green against the United States in the World Cup. He's now a broadcaster in the World Cup. I think he's teamed with Derek Ray. But Rob Green, remember that the ball Clint Dempsey hit and he put his glove on it and somehow it rolled under his hand? Remember Martin Tyler went, it's a howler. And if you want to know what howler means, it means that people are howling with laughter at your stupidity and your lameness, right? And so I don't know who's going to be the new coach, but it's 4 long years now, and this was the opportunity. Now, if we had gotten to the Elite Eight, because up next was Spain, we weren't going to win that game. But it would have been okay. It would have been okay because you lost to Spain. And you'd say, all right, you want to say at least we're not Canada or Australia or at least we're not them. But then again, all three host nations ride out. And it was a day where all the quote unquote stars laid an egg. And I can't believe that disease just permeated through the whole team. And Bruce was right about Belgium being galvanized. And then what did they tweet out after the game? They tweeted out, overturn that. Did you see Romelu Lukaku doing the Trump dance? You think they weren't thinking about that stuff? The big bullies who cheat? Yeah. So we went from this captivating, cool story to we hate you, you're going to choke, we're going to punch you in the face, and you're not going to punch us back. Other than that, it was great. So as I said, this Argentina win over Egypt, it was amazing theater. I watched it as I was doing the show, multitasking because I'm such a pro. Okay. Matt Vasgersian next. Come on back.
Do you want to add a boost to your sex life this weekend? Do you want to make your partner and yourself happy? Then call our special hotline now. We'll sell you those little pills that work below the belt for less than $1 a pill and deliver your package in a few days, just in time for the weekend. Our pill delivers almost the same results as expensive pills for less than $1 a piece, and you don't need a prescription. And ask about their buy 3 get 3 free offer. What are you waiting for? Boost your sex life and have a great time now. Less than $1 a pill, discreet delivery in a few days, and a buy 3 get 3 free offer? Dial this number and save it now.
800-245-2751. 800-245-2751. 800-245-2751. That's 800-245-2751. Paid for by the Pharmacy Shop.
This important consumer alert is from the Credit Repair Hotline, a national service designed to help people improve their credit scores. Are you paying high interest rates because of your credit rating? Wouldn't you like to be able to qualify for a better car loan or mortgage rate? Would lower monthly payments give you more financial flexibility? If you're finally ready to fix your credit problem, you need to call today and get a free consultation from the Credit Repair Hotline. In one fast and easy call, we can pull your credit rating and show you real solutions how to improve your credit. And again, this is part of a 100% free consultation. Learn how you can save money on everyday purchases by having a better credit rating. And it all starts with this free phone call right now.
800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. That's 800-413-6214.
My fellow Americans, let the message ring out that from this day forward, when you buy American, you buy the best. Handcrafted, something premium, something pure. For this is the very essence of what our servicemen and women gave their lives to protect, and by God, we shall not allow their sacrifice to be forgotten. It's time to show the world just how great American can be. And we will not wait for tomorrow to come. We will stand here, this moment, together, and we will start today. Don't ever forget how great it is to be American. America we need right now. America, premium vodka. Celebrate responsibly.
And by the way, can I just say, Rick, that Rick Tittle is one of the great names of all time.
be getting your granny panties all in a bunch. We got Rick Tittle up in here.
All right, thank you for that. Welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, nationally syndicated out of San Francisco and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. It's been a while, but it's great to have Matt Vasgersian back on the show, and he's here to talk about his participation, not as one of the players, but as the broadcasters with Netflix's coverage of the Home Run Derby, which is going to be on July 13th. The pregame show will start at 7 Eastern, and the Home Run Derby will start at 8 p.m. Eastern. Matt, the last time we had you on the show, long time ago, to do MLB the show, which is one of the great franchises of all time that PlayStation had. I love that. And it's still great, but what is it, like 5 years ago that you left? Because it was a dent when you left for me.
Thanks for saying that, Rick. I wish they felt the same way over there. Yeah, 16 years, I guess, was a long time to do a video game franchise. So that was the end of my run there. But I'm still a fan and a consumer because I've got an 11-year-old son who plays it voraciously. In fact, I beat him most recently because I played a team of Hall of Famers. You know, I play the guys he's never heard of, and he wants to play the Yankees. Solo homer by Joe Morgan, 3-run shot by Johnny Bench, and he turned it off in the 5th inning because he was losing. So this is what happens when you have an 11-year-old.
Well, you're a this, like I said, I think it was over a decade ago I last talked to you, but I know you're a Campo guy. I went to Salesian High in Richmond, and then I went to St. Mary's College, and I think so. I was like Chip Hale's age. I was class of '83. Were you like 2 years behind me?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, Chip was. I was class of '85. Yeah,
so if you went to any St. Mary's football games in high school, maybe you saw your boy Rick Tittle out there.
I would have, because I did go to St. Mary's football games, and I still think it's a great tragedy that it was a victim of whatever thing happened, and that there is no St. Mary's football. I think it stinks. Love the fact that they knocked off UCLA twice in the College World Series. Very upset that Randy Bennett left, as everybody around St. Mary's is. And you know what? I'll just get up on the pedestal here. Wish they'd given him a little bit more help in terms of the portal and, money to be competitive, because, getting into the tournament so many years from that little program, give him a little help. I just think it's a shame that he had to leave ultimately. And it was a day that we all feared, and it happened.
Well, I can tell you as an alum, now we're going back to the 80s, but it's a school that does not put athletics first. And I remember because I also played lacrosse, and I was going to miss a test, and they said, if you're not here, you get an F. And I go, can I take it before? No. Can I take it after? No. So I had to take that big fat red F because I'm not missing the game.
Ooh.
Right?
Ooh, yeah, no. Oh, that's a shame. I mean, geez, you were probably there. Were you there when David Vann was playing basketball?
He was David Vann. Golly. He wasn't when I was there. He was either before or after.
Would have been possibly slightly before,
yeah.
Because, St. Mary's basketball had a profile locally with him. He was a terrific college player, and the matchups, the legendary battles they'd have with USF when Quentin Daly was there.
Yeah, that was when I was in high school. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was probably in junior high during those days, but that's good stuff.
Good stuff. All right, well, we could talk about the East Bay all day, but let's talk about the Home Run Derby because this is why you're here. And no clock this year, a couple of little tweaks. What are we looking at here, Matt?
Yeah, I like the no clock because the players like the no clock. This is a player-driven event, clearly. And if the feedback had been, look, there's a level of angst with the clock, we're doing things that probably might not be conducive to not only hitting homers for the event, but maintaining our swing for the second half of the season. And the last thing the league wants to hear is, I got screwed up because I did the home run derby. Right. So by taking the clock out of the equation, and letting players just choose when they want to swing. And it's a finite number of swings. I mean, we're not going to be here all day doing this thing. But I think it's really a smart change because it was, they're listening to the players here. And I don't think the fans are going to miss the clock because there's still going to be urgency involved. You're going to have a field of 8 elite hitters. We've only got a couple confirmed names so far, but the field is going to be great. The one guy that I really hope does it that hasn't given a final confirmation yet is Kyle Schwarber, hometown guy.
Yeah.
Hits tanks, probably tracking for the Hall of Fame. That's the guy that I really want to see. But they've got Ben Rice, they've got Junior Caminero, 2 studs. I think it's going to be a great event.
Yeah, I know what you mean because I think it was Abreu and Hamilton said the Derby ruined my swing. I was having a great first half, and I'm like, come on. So now you also bring up a good point. We're still waiting on 6 other names here.
Yeah, got kind of getting late in the game, but there are a lot of things at play. Yeah, there are a lot of things in play here. I know that asks are out. I don't. It's not that I'm holding information from you. I simply don't know who else is out there. I know that Schwarber's been asked. But you don't have to be rocket science for that one. You could kind of make your educated guesses. They'd love to see Yordan Alvarez. They'd love to see, and I would too. James Wood, Nick Kurtz. Like there are no-brainer dudes that you want to see do this. And then there's always a guy or two that slips in there that you're like, oh, weird. Okay. And then that guy wins it. Wally Joyner won the home run derby one year. Not, line drive gap hitter won the home run derby. Garrett Anderson won it one year. So sometimes it's not the big, strong, muscle-bound guy. Sometimes it's that line drive gap hitter that just gets in a groove and rolls.
Before I let you go, I would like to ask this because my friend and I were trying to figure out what was the thing with the XFL where you're like, I don't want to say that.
That was, first of all, you'll have to be more specific. There were a number of those moments. I think the one you're referring to was we were always told there was 2 kind of sides of messaging here. There was Vince McMahon and the WWF at the time wanted us to just punch it hard, go over the top, beat it into the ground. You can't sell it hard enough. And then there was Dick Ebersol and NBC, and those folks were like, use your judgment, pump the brakes. It'll just let it play out, stay professional. So we came back from a break on that fateful opening day telecast between the New York Hitmen and the Las Vegas Gamblers. And they took essentially a neck to navel shot of a cheerleader. And, if we know anything about covering sports TV, you never take a neck to navel shot of anybody, right? You can hear directors screaming coast to coast in production trucks saying, put a head on it. We can't do it. That we can't objectify body parts. So that was kind of my shot. And I thought about, it was like the scene in Animal House with the Belushi angel and devil, right, on one side, or it was actually the Tom Hulce character, right? Get it, do it, and then the angel shows up and says, "If you touch that girl," it was that, and I heard in ears in my left ear, like in this order, McMahon got in my left ear and said, "Come on, Matt, that's America, that's the XFL," and then I heard Dick Ebersol say, "Remember what we talked about? Be careful." So what I said was, well, that's uncomfortable. I actually said that. I actually articulated what I was thinking and pissed both of them off and was gone shortly thereafter.
All right. Well, we got to run, but I'm glad we got that story, and thank you for the explanation. Everybody make sure to check out the Home Run Derby, of course. And remember, this year, just like the opening game was with the Giants and the Yanks, it's on Netflix, and the pregame will start at 7 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock on the East Coast. We will start getting underway with the players, and we've been talking to the pride of Contra Costa County, Matt Vasgersian. Matt, good having you on again, man. Let's catch up soon.
Good talking to you, Rick. Go Gales.
All right, God is a Gale, absolutely. And yeah, you talked about those great games. I forgot about David Van. It rings a bell, but Quentin Daly was a fantastic player for USF. And then, do you remember the name Quentin Daly? No? He raped a nurse. And so John Losciavo, the president of USF, canceled basketball forever. They dropped the sport, except it wasn't forever. It eventually came back. But that was the answer to that horrific crime. So when I hear Quentin Daly, yeah, obviously that's what I think of. Come on back with Lena Hall.
Who's watching me? I always feel like somebody's watching me, and I have no privacy. Oh, I always feel like somebody's watching me. Tell me, is it just a dream? Oh, when I come home at night, I go for.
It's more than a rebellion. When your teen is slipping into drugs or alcohol, when social media and pornography consume their time and their mind, when depression and even suicidal thoughts cast a shadow over your home, as a parent, you feel powerless. There is hope. At Turnabout Ranch, troubled teens step away from the chaos and into a clarity of nature on a working cattle ranch. Care for horses, learn responsibility, build trust, and rediscover purpose. It isn't theory, it's real work, real therapy, real healing. Families from across the country have found transformation right here, just when they thought hope was gone. If your teen is struggling with addiction, harmful online behaviors, even weight management, call right now and get the help you all need.
800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. That's 800-219-2494.
Do you have diabetes? I'm sure you've seen the television commercials on the new CGM devices from all the top brands and how well they can help you manage your diabetes. Do you have the latest and newest in diabetes technology? The Diabetes Solution Center carries most of the top brands, and the great news is your insurance may cover most of the cost. Call our special CGM hotline today, and our friendly representatives will help see if you qualify. You could get a new CGM from the top brands at little or no cost to you. Make living with diabetes easier. You are just one free phone call away to learn if your insurance covers the cost. So make this free call today to the Diabetes Solutions Center and learn for free how to get your new continuous glucose monitor.
800-520-8629. 800-520-8629. 800-520-8629. That's 800-520-8629.
Listen, were you forced into getting a solar contract and now you just don't want it anymore? Maybe the solar company misled you. Or is your solar contract buried with hidden fees? Are you not saving the amount of money you thought you would on your energy costs? Don't worry. At the Solar Exit Hotline, we can help you cancel your solar contract. Even if the panels are already installed, our experienced legal team will review your contract and help you cancel it, possibly saving you thousands of dollars. You got to call right now for complete details. So listen, if you're not happy with your solar contract for any reason, we are here to help you cancel it. Call the Solar Exit Hotline now for immediate options to help you exit your solar contract. This call is 100% free.
800-826-4073. 800-826-4073. 800-826-4073. That's 800-826-4073.
I'm not insightful enough to be a movie critic. Maybe I could be a food critic. These muffins taste bad. Or an art critic. That painting is bad.
Why can't you say you talk to me? You're already thinking about someone else. When it comes home, your bed is on and I'll be gone. But I know my day will come. I know someday I'll be the only one. So now you wait for a spark.
I'm so disgusted by Rick Tittle that I find him very intoxicating.
All right. Thank you for that. And welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, nationally syndicated out of San Francisco and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. It's our pleasure to welcome back to the show the fabulously talented Lena Hall, the pride of the hate. And she's here because she's got a really cool show coming up. And locally, she'll be with the San Francisco Symphony. The show's called James Bond Forever. On the 23rd of this month, they'll be down in Palo Alto. On the 24th, they'll be back here in the city. And then picking up in the fall, she will be singing the music of James Bond with the Toronto Symphony Orchestra. Dates October 14th and 15th. And then the biggie, Carnegie Hall, October 23rd. Lena, welcome back to the show. For someone like you, Carnegie Hall is just, I don't want to say it's old hat, but some people would like melt under the pressure. You embrace that stuff, don't you?
I'm really, really excited. I cannot wait to play Carnegie Hall and Davies Symphony Hall. I mean, I grew up in San Francisco, and Davies Symphony Hall was always kind of like a dream of mine. When I was younger, I wanted to be a cellist at the symphony. So, you know, this is a big deal, big homecoming for me. And these songs are so amazing. They're iconic. They're epic. I think I'm singing about 15 songs. So more likely than not, your favorite one will be sung.
So you'll be dance into the fire, the fatal kiss is all we need.
Yeah.
All that.
all the genre. It's so good, and it spans like almost every genre, you know, from when they started to current. So it just goes from that bombastic, you know, sexy 60s sound with Tom Jones and, you know, those big ones, and then it goes all the way to like the really soft, you know, sensitive, sad stuff like Billie Eilish and
well, I think, you know, because I'm a 70s kid, so Sheena Easton, Carly Simon, they're on there.
Oh yeah. Carly Simon one is great, and Carly Simon one is a really cool song because it does not sound like your typical James Bond theme song, and it's actually a huge hit in its own right.
Absolutely.
But I'm so excited to come home and play with the orchestra in San Francisco and visit home and visit the Haight-Ashbury and all that.
Well, I was going to say, it was an amazing time when you were in here last time. We loved having you in. And, of course, you can see Lena Hall on Your Friends and Neighbors on Apple, which is an amazing series. And season 2, you know, normally, Lena, season 2 is trying to, you know, grab season 1's hype. And it's always a little bit, it just doesn't get it. Season 2, I thought, was way better than season 1. So now we're all waiting for season 3.
Interesting. Yeah. I think season 2 was amazing. Like I watched season 2, and I had already read all the scripts, but I got to watch season 2 before it came out, and see the final edit, and I was just like, wow, that was amazing. So I was really impressed with my own show, and a lot of times the scenes that I love the best are not my own scenes. They're always, you know, the scenes between Barney and Coop, or those scenes are like always like my favorite. The boys when they're out partying or getting into trouble, my favorite stuff.
You know, after you were in, and of course you won the Tony for Hedwig and the Angry Inch, I was intrigued and I watched some video, and I'm always amazed at, like, you know, when comedians do 3 sets in a night, or when, you know, you're doing 2 shows and whatever, 7 shows a week, you get 1 day off. Watching you in the Hedwig, you were absolutely drenched with sweat. You were basically in your underpants, and I thought you left everything out on the stage. How do you then regroup and then do that again and again and again? I mean, it's got to be taxing, but you pulled it off.
It's very difficult. It is. You basically in the morning you feel like you were hit by a truck. It's wild, but the theater is interesting because, you know, the minute that the music starts and the minute the lights hit the stage and the minute you're on the stage, there's this energy transfer from the audience to you and back to them. So it's like the energy comes when you get on that stage. It just like comes to you and fills you, and you can get through it. before every show, it's like my body goes through this rest phase, and I always feel like let's say the show is at 8 o'clock. Well, at 5:30 p.m., I'm like, I feel like I'm dying. Like, I'm so tired. I just want to stay home and sleep. And I'm like, I'll never get through this. I'll never be able to do this. How am I so tired? And then I get to the theater and I start getting ready, and then the energy starts to build a little. And the minute I stand out on stage, it's just like the energy comes, and it's like, it's all there. So it's almost like my body knows what's going to happen, and it shuts down and like reserves all my energy for me. I don't even have to like do it. It just does it for me. So,
well, it almost sounds like
through.
like these marathon runners where it's muscle memory, and then a lot of times it's not almost an out of body experience. Like, have you ever like left your body, gone into the orchestra seating, and watched yourself perform?
I mean, no, I've never left my body and watched myself perform, but I have left my body and then kind of come to, and I'm like, it's the end of the show. Like, I just did a whole show. I don't even remember what happened. So yeah, it is kind of your whole, like, everything takes over. The character takes over sometimes, especially with a show like Hedwig, where you're on stage the whole time. There's no breaks. And, you know, it's such the show is just one big story tell. It's like the character of Hedwig actually takes over your body, and you are that person for that time and for that time period. And at the very end, you start to come back into your body, and you start to, you know, feel like yourself. You're more aware of things. So it's an interesting job to have, and to be able to do 8 shows a week. I know it's not something that people want to do much, but it made me a very, very strong performer. It made me feel like, you know, especially Hedwig, doing 8 shows with Hedwig, it's something that it basically like proved to myself that like I could basically get through anything if I just put my mind to it. So for me, it gave me a lot of energy, and it gave me confidence as well in myself and in what I do, that I can handle like a really heavy lift. So I'm always looking for big challenges like that.
Yeah, well, it just shows you that talent alone is not going to get you through. You have to have that mental and physical toughness as well. All right, now back to the James Bond show, which is coming up with the world famous San Francisco Symphony, one down at Stanford and one up here. We're talking about all the different artists and all the different songs. So I can think of 3 off the top of my head Shirley Bassey songs. Now she's just so, you know, Goldfinger. I mean, it's just so huge. So do you try to emulate and sound like them, or do you have to put your own spin on it, or is it like, how do you sort of like walk that line?
I do try to honor each artist and how they performed the song, how the song was written for each artist to perform. I think it's really important to dig deep into the stylistic, like, you know, qualities of the artist and the song and the period in which the song was recorded and what movie it was for. So I think keeping it as true to that as possible without doing without doing an impersonation is a little line that I like to balance on. And so, yeah, I bring a lot of like that bombastic Shirley Bassey sound, and the Tom Jones, like the swinging, you know, 60s style of Tom Jones, and then the softer, sweeter tones that come in. And like everything is very true to the song and how the song was written and the voice that recorded the song. So I do the Paul McCartney one. I try to bring in some Gladys Knight, because Gladys Knight did one, License to Kill. It's such a great song. It's just kind of sometimes overlooked, but it's such an amazing song, and she's such an incredible singer. And that one for me is kind of the scariest, because it's the most it's just to try and emulate someone like Gladys Knight is, of course, a very, very difficult thing. So I take that very seriously, and I try to honor her as much as I do and can, and I do bring my own spin on it as well, along with all the other songs. The easier ones, of course, are the rock songs for me, like the Paul McCartney one, or like I do the Chris Cornell one.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, he did one, and I love that one. I think it's just like a really cool rock song from the time. So, you know, there's the super popular ones, and then there's the ones that didn't hit as hard, but everyone will hear something that they love for sure.
All right, before I let you go, last question. What is the coolest thing that you bought secondhand in the hate, like Buffalo Exchange or Held Over or one of those places?
Coolest thing? Man, Held Over is gone now.
Oh,
So
it is?
sad.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they closed recently. It's such a tragedy. Boo. But what's one of the coolest things? Well, I have this jumpsuit. I got it at Held Over, and it's this really cool 1970s one piece that is like got flowers all over it. It's like red and orange and yellow and green flowers all over. You can imagine. It's like a one piece jumpsuit. Very cool. I've never worn it, but it's hanging in my closet just because it looks cool. I don't know where to wear it. Maybe I'll wear it for the show.
Yeah.
Because it's very it's kind of appropriate for the show.
All right. Well, when you come back into town, if you get a chance, we'd love to have you in studio because you're always a big ball of fire and entertainment. We love you.
Well, thank you for having me. I love talking to you.
All right. Good stuff. Lena Hall, everybody. San Francisco Symphony, James Bond Forever, the 23rd in Palo Alto and the 24th at Davies Symphony Hall, right here in town. I'm Rick Tittle. We'll take a quick break and we will come on back on Sports Byline.
With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new Care Watch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The Care Watch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. The Care Watch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. Call us to get your Care Watch right now.
800-853-8931. 800-853-8931. 800-853-8931. That's 800-853-8931.
Lower your car payment today. Lower your car payment today. Yes, you heard us right. You can lower your car payment right now by making this free call and save up to $1,400 a year on your current car payments. Think about your current car payment right now. What's that costing you per year? Now think about what it would be like to put an extra $1,400 back in your pocket. That's the average savings our customers experience. We can help you drive the same car and pay less every month by lowering your car payment's interest rate to as low as 4.67%. At Rate Genius, we can work with you to refinance any car payment. If you qualify, it costs you nothing to find out how you can lower your car payment. To learn more, call this number right now.
800-832-2816. 800-832-2816. 800-832-2816. That's 800-832-2816.
Let's be honest. Most businesses don't struggle because demand is low. They struggle because their back end can't handle growth. Leads come in, but follow-up is slow. Calls get missed. Appointments don't get confirmed. And everything lives in different places. So even when marketing works, revenue doesn't scale. That's a systems problem. Create Assistance fixes this by building a done-for-you CRM and automation system that captures every lead, follows up automatically, confirms appointments, and keeps everything organized in one place. And only after that foundation is built, AI voice and chat employees get added on. If your business feels chaotic behind the scenes, it's time to fix the back end. Visit createassistance.ai and book your call today. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
To me, it's like a mountain, a vast bowl of pus.
时间不会瞬间改变天空的颜色，别让我在黑夜看不清方向。记忆中的每幅画面不再是绿色，希望就会布满每一个角落，希望就会布满每一个角落。
Who cares about anything else when you've got Rick Tittle on the radio?
All right, thank you for that. And in about an hour's time, we'll have Spain versus Switzerland to see who will be the last of the quarterfinalists. And I try not to let. I'm a realist. I know America. The best they could do, and I was saying this before the tournament, was to get to the quarterfinals. We've only done that once in this modern era. That was when we beat Mexico in that quarterfinal, which was an amazing game. Of all the teams to beat, that was the one. Brad Friedel thinks exactly like me. Against Colombia. Sorry, I said Spain. Colombia versus Switzerland. Brad Friedel is on The Rest is Football with Gary Lineker and Micah Richards and Alan Shearer. They're actually doing some of them on Netflix with celebrities as well. And he said, I hate Mexico, the team, because they're a rival. Like everything, he hates them way more than I do. But that's not PC to say these days. Because, no, they're our neighbors, they're our friends. And yes, Mexican people. Not the team. The team can go straight to hell. I do admire them for putting up an amazing fight against England. I admire them very much for that. But yeah, Jesse Marsh at smartass in Canada. These are rival teams, and I'm sure the whole world is overjoyed at USA going out, and especially once we cheated. And, the president who said I didn't even know what a red card was makes a call, and Johnny Infantino bows down, and then he pretends like, no, I went to the disciplinary committee. Yeah, it did. I went to the disciplinary committee. That would be like you saying, I ate at McDonald's every night for a year because a committee told me to. Oh, you have no say? Anyway. So I'm not going to let it ruin the World Cup. And for anyone who said the USA had a chance to take it all, just doesn't understand soccer. It's cool to get in on it. I was as in on it as anybody. I've been a fan my whole life. But if anybody who was saying, we had a real chance to win the whole thing, and you don't understand it, and that's fine. I don't understand rugby. We'll be back tomorrow. And